You're watching Face to Face, live from the CSL studio. Your host, Nesta Can.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Face to Face. Yours truly, Nesta Can. Today we have two special guests in the studio. I'll let them introduce themselves.
Ladies first.
Oh, well, thank you. What should I say? My name is Alexis.
Okay.
And here I am. Glad to be here.
And I am Raj, apparently.
Right. How you guys doing today?
We're doing great.
Good.
Great. How are you?
I'm great.
How are you?
I have moved all day. So
Oh, really?
That's just great.
Oh.
And yeah, that sums up my whole state of being is like moving in New York City.
Wow.
Super fun.
Where'd you move to? Say your address.
Oh,
I'm
this
just
is.
kidding. I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Let me write it down.
I dislike moving. I don't like it.
No one likes it.
Oh, boy.
No one is ever thinking, "Can I help my friends move?" I hope they ask
No,
me.
you
if
know what?
they need
I
help
know
moving.
a couple people who actually like moving. I do.
They should
don't
make money off of it then, because normal people don't want to do that. It's for
I
professionals.
agree. I agree, but they don't want to stay in one spot too long.
Oh,
Well, yeah,
the
not the-
act
not
of
the
a
act
new
of- yeah,
place
yeah.
is great.
Right.
Carrying things.
Yeah.
I just like where I'm at, you know.
I have moved 23 times since the year 2000.
Really?
Everything from three, and this is not including like, oh, I spent a summer away. This
Yeah.
is just moves. That could be 3 months. It could be 3 years. But yeah, I've moved a lot, and I've probably moved at least 60 times as a kid. No, that's an exaggeration.
That is insane.
I probably
Yeah.
moved 35 times as a kid.
That's still a lot.
Yeah, so I'm like a professional at this point, but I hate it, so it's kind of shocking.
What is this story? Why, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, on the topic of this podcast, Alexis's moving history.
Hey.
Just have a conversation.
Alexis's non-commitment to residences. I mean, a million reasons, right? You know, like, oh, I might move. Let me sublet a couple of places for a few months here and there, because I wanted to leave New York for a long time.
Right.
And then finally I was like, no, I don't. Like, I just need to commit and stop, being somewhere for 3 months furnished. And then when I was in college, I moved like once a year. When I was younger, my family moved a lot because they're a lot as humans.
Yeah.
So we moved like every 3 to 6 months in the same general areas. So to me, it's like I can pack like a professional,
Really?
but I can't carry things like one.
I'm not even gonna lie. I wouldn't even know where to find boxes.
Well, today I was at the Home Depot.
Ah,
And let me tell you, the person checking me out did not offer to help me with my boxes
Whoa,
or take
rude.
them, and told me to do it myself. I was like, I don't know how to do that, so I guess it won't get done. Thanks.
wow.
See you later.
Are you a fan of moving, sir?
Not really. I haven't moved much in my life as well. Probably 4 times.
Yeah.
4 times total ever?
Yeah.
What?
For me, I think it's been like 3.
Yeah.
Maybe 2.
I stay at Residence East.
Yeah.
Wow.
I set a roots.
Mm-hmm.
That is intense. You guys might
is.
think that my number is intense. I think that low of a
Yeah.
number is intense.
Yeah.
That's why we're looking at you like, wow.
Yeah. That's
And
just-
what's crazy is that the place I had rented or thought I had rented fell through. So I have 2 applications in. So I moved my stuff into storage without a forwarding address, and I'm going to go stay with a friend for a week.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes me feel like I'm 15. Like I have like no roots in life. Living
No,
out of a suitcase.
no.
I've done that. I've lived in out of suitcases before, but here we are.
I get it. I
Life.
get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I just, I'm just too, I don't know. I'm just not that adventurous, I guess, when it comes to
3
that.
and 4 times.
Yeah.
Even combined
And one of
between
them,
you guys,
and
that's
one of them,
like hardly
one of them
Yeah.
I don't even remember because I was young.
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
I'll probably say the same thing as well.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, because if you stay somewhere for a long time, your rent is really low.
What?
It's not going to have that same
Who
percentage.
told you that?
Yeah.
Because when you move out, they can jump up
Jump up, that's what-
hugely.
that's what
Even
I
if
wanna
it's
do.
not rent control or stabilized, they can jump up like a lot.
It feels like it jumps up on a consistent basis.
I mean, it
and-
does.
right?
But compared to
Not
if you
yet.
move out, they can start with a new
Oh, yeah. That's true.
baseline
That's
and
true.
then increase.
Yeah.
We are fascinating listeners.
Yeah.
for this moving
Look,
story.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. You're going to have to. This is how you get to know people, okay?
It's true.
You find out how they move
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
I move well.
That's good.
But every time I ask someone to help me move, the friendship ends within like a year and a half. So
Wow.
the person that's helping me today,
Roommates, huh?
No, I mean, it's just a friend. I don't know why he's being so nice to spend his whole day helping me move in a truck.
Maybe he likes.
That's
you.
why.
Yeah,
I know.
that's
I know
fine.
why he is. I just
Okay.
don't know how.
No.
If I would be that nice.
Wow. Well, let's go there, if you don't mind. Do you like this young gentleman?
He is not young.
Okay.
So you
All
know,
right.
what? Like last time I was here, we
Yes.
talked about relationships.
Yes.
We had some great chat about
Yeah, we
relationships.
did.
I thought.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And I don't know if I mentioned or not that I had fallen in or met people that I really liked within like a 6-month period. I had these 2 really significant, really intense relationships with 2 people, both of which were going through a divorce, both of which had 5-year-old daughters.
You did you mention? I don't remember.
I don't remember that
at
as
all.
well.
Oh, I didn't open up that much.
No, you
we
did
kept
not.
It, we kept it more.
We were trying to
on
go to
the
Yeah.
surface.
We had another guest afterwards.
Yeah, there's
so
some time
we had a rush.
constraints going on.
So
Yeah.
And I was late as hell, so
Yeah.
that's also.
today we can open it up.
Yeah, so I how much this detail will I tell you
Oh,
guys?
good question.
So I was on a work trip in Bermuda
Okay,
a year
shout out to
ago,
Bermuda,
so last
okay.
September. And, I had a long-term boyfriend. We'd stopped talking a couple months before. That affects people,
Yeah.
whatever. So I was in Bermuda on Tinder.
Nice.
I was in Bermuda for a work trip, and then I stayed for a couple of days with myself and swiping away. I met this guy, and he was such a
Swiping away.
gentleman. I actually wasn't that interested because he just seemed so nice. I was like, oh, whatever. And there was this other guy that was kind of like, this other guy
Seems so nice.
the other guy kind of seemed less nice. And I was like, oh, I'm into that. So, but then that guy blew me off. And then this guy, the nice guy, he wasn't that nice, but I thought he was. And this guy, he's British, lives in Bermuda. He's been there like 18 years. We hang out, we end up, he was really like helpful for me on the island. 'Cause
Right.
it's a weird place. Like I've been to a lot of islands. It was different to me than other places I'd been. And he like drove me around and showed me around. We had breakfast together one day. So all this happened in one day
Nice.
because we'd been talking for a couple of days, but I was there for work. I had to do things for
Okay.
work. And then we had breakfast and then we hung out that night. And then he drove me to the airport the next morning and like going through a divorce after 15 years and had a 5-year-old. I'd never dated someone with a kid before. So we did talk about that.
Right.
So that was the first
Oh,
time
yes,
I
yes,
had
we
like
did
ever
talk about it,
seen
right.
someone with a kid. But I was like, it's a day in Bermuda. I'm not going to see this guy again. Like it's, cool. High five, guy. Like thank you for being such a nice like host and respectful and
Right.
cool, I'm leaving some details out. But
No,
generally,
no, of
this
course,
is
of
the
course.
high level. And so he drives me to the airport. And we just like, I'm the first girl he's like dated since the divorce. His wife cheated on him 3 times.
Whoa.
Yeah. We talked about infidelity last time, though.
Love to know why that happened, but go ahead.
She was like 10 years younger than him and whatever, but he was kind of the primary parent, which is attractive. If you're a woman that wants a kid and you see a guy that's a good dad, that's attractive to me.
Right.
I didn't meet her, obviously. I was there for one day.
Right.
So we just kind of like an hour after I met, we both started texting all the time. Like, I feel like this is a real thing. And he's like, me too. Like, I feel like, yeah, it's a real thing. I went back to Bermuda and we kept this going.
Oh.
So we met in September. Sounds so psychotic. At the end of October, I went for 5 days.
Yeah.
Spending time with the kid. Feels very close to 90 Day Fiance
Okay.
or like 30 Day
That is
Fiance.
a great show, by the way.
Well, I think I've lived it enough, right?
Oh, wow.
So then
Okay.
I go back in November over
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. Met at the end of September. Go back in November. And he asked me to move there. So he's like putting me in touch with recruiters. I'm spending even more time with his daughter. We're walking down the street, all 3 holding hands.
You are that show.
I know. And then at
Wow.
some point he went to take a shower and she has her toys on my lap and she's brought me a blanket and she's playing on my phone and she's gonna kind of put my arm around her and asked if I could
Wow.
come to Christmas with them at the UK.
Wow.
And I I looked at him and he got in the shower. I was like, this is 90 Day Fiance, or it's like Big Brother Stepmother
Yeah.
edition. Like this is so intense.
Yeah.
We kind of laughed it off. We ran to his ex-wife in the grocery store, whatever.
Oh,
It was a very
that's
intense
nice.
2 trips. And then he asked me to move there and then told me he didn't want to see anyone else or hook up with anyone else. I'm like, great. Like this is,
So you made an exclusive.
he did.
Oh, he did. Okay.
I didn't. I mean, I wasn't planning on doing anything, but
Okay.
we live in different countries.
Right.
What are you going to do? So And then things got weird like 3 weeks later. And then he just started being really like distant and one-word answers, and pissed off that I wanted him to, step up and help me move there. And he was busy.
Yeah.
He had real priorities, but it was just he handled it really poorly and like just kind of cut off communication. And then I saw he had reactivated his Tinder, changed his profile, updated his pictures.
No.
And this trip that both he and his daughter said, God, I really wish you could come to the UK for Christmas with us. He was looking for a little while he was in the UK. So I was like, oh, well, great. Thanks for the communication. So then, like maybe, I don't know, a few months later, I meet this guy on Tinder.
Shout out to Tinder.
Shout out to Tinder. It's like an advertisement. And I sit down, and they're very different people, but I sit down at this bar, and he's like, yeah, it's great to meet you, da-da-da-da. And we end up having a great night. We talked all night. But within the first half an hour, he lets me know that he is newly divorced and has a 5-year-old daughter. And I was like, is this? I said, I just had this relationship, but it was in Bermuda, like where everything was tropical and like amazing. And he was like, oh no, it gets worse. I'm like, it gets worse. He's like, this is my second divorce.
Oh.
I was like, holy shit.
So why would he say that?
Well, I mean, we're both kind of self-deprecating, so it's kind of a tone. So this flies in to a relationship. Like within less than 2 weeks, he kind of asked me if I want to make it exclusive. I could go into that whole story.
Less than 2 weeks, huh?
His daughter, in the morning, sometimes like getting in bed and asking me if I love her and like cussling into my neck. So yeah. This is like 30-day fiance. After 3 weeks, we all three took a vacation together.
Okay, I'm sorry. How did that make you feel? Like,
I don't know if it's like my ovaries just have such strong power over my brain that when I meet guys that are good dads and they seem like they're ready for a commitment, and maybe their other relationships didn't work out, like they're like, I'm ready. Like you kind of see that in their eyes, like, oh, they're looking for something,
right?
And maybe they're learning these lessons. But now the people that really learned the lesson was me, because now I have these 2 relationships. So that exploded, not in a great way. But whatever.
There's good explosions.
So, I mean, sometimes it's exciting, but
cool.
it just literally was, horrible. So during one of our breakup conversations, after we broken up, he did tell me that he needs someone with a more interesting body type, and that I was not his type.
What the?
So if you're ever thinking like,
if
you're ever thinking like, man, I wonder what I want someone to tell me after they've been promising me a future and ask me if I want to get married. I think I want that guy to tell me that they need a more interesting body type.
What?
And I know that there's other reasons for this detail, like why he said it. Like I know what his thing is, whatever. But that's shit. Like I'm sorry.
It is.
And that sticks with you.
Yeah.
Of course.
So you know what I did all summer? I ate everything. And it has nothing to do with weight. His thing isn't a weight thing. But I was like, I'm going to eat, drink, whatever. I'm not going to be that sad. I want to lose weight for this guy. I'm gonna excess and indulge myself.
Shout out to BBWs.
Yeah.
So then this girl I know was like, and I don't know her very well. She's like, I know this guy. I think you guys might hit it off. He's single and ready to mingle. And I was like, oh, are you doing this for me or him? Like, who are you trying to help out in this situation? Because it's never the same. So I hang out. I leave town to meet him for dinner the next day, because just schedules aligned.
Right.
So I'm out of town. I'm in, Tarrytown, like north of the city, and which is a trek, but it was pretty, and I was happy to like get out of the city. We sit down. In 20 minutes, he's like, yeah, I'm going through the end of a divorce, and I have a 5-year-old daughter. And I was like, yep, nope. And I told him, we can hang out. Like, this can be cool. This can be fun. But I have a new policy. Unless someone's been firmly divorced for at least 6 months.
I think you said that last time. Yeah.
If not a year, like, I'm not. Oh, and then the guy that lives in Brooklyn, I won't say specifically, down the street.
Yes, I remember that.
I remember that one.
That gentleman.
I remember
yes.
that one.
Yeah, we're a bar a block away where we've been to before. He had told me he was divorced, and then I learned he wasn't yet divorced. That was so long ago. So there's so many more details that are actually crazier about these stories.
Yeah.
But I've learned my lesson. Like, less drama.
Wow.
It might seem intense, exciting, but sometimes that intensity is just gonna burn bright and fade away.
So do you think you are attracting these?
Yes, you put out. I know what you're gonna say. Like you put out what you're, like if I just think like you're putting out a vibe, and people gravitate towards it magnetically, even if it's not the vibe you mean to put out.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like if people know I want to have a kid, and I'm pretty honest about it
Yeah.
early. I don't want to waste anyone's time or mine.
Yeah.
They amp up that, oh, I want to have a kid. Oh, I am a father. Oh, meet my daughter.
Yeah.
Because they know that's something that's going to bond you.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think it's malicious, but I think it's
Yeah.
like it's a way to bond between people.
Yeah.
But then it creates these bonds that are too quick. You know,
Very quick,
Like
yeah.
if you haven't known that person better, for I think in most situations, if you like really haven't gotten into it, then you have this a kid to think about. Like
Yeah.
God knows what these two young girls that were getting really close to me, so physically, emotionally, like who knows what those dads told them.
Yeah.
You know, that could be hurtful to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Did you guys grow up with single parents, or were your parents together? or?
My parents weren't together. So my mom raised me, basically. My father is still around. He's still around in my life, but
Yeah.
she raised me by herself. Yeah, so.
Did she date people and like bring them around
Yep,
you?
exactly, yeah. So they were like my father figure.
But like,
Well, there's one specific guy who was really, he stuck around for a while. He was like my, the father figure in my life. And I find myself doing that now with a lot of women that I date. It's
Really?
like they have kids and I'm like the
The father
yeah,
figure.
right,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's interesting.
we talked about it a little bit last time. And you
Yeah,
were saying that you were closed off to it
Yeah.
in the past, and now you're more
Yeah.
open
Yeah,
to
more
dating
open to
someone
it,
with
say that,
children.
exactly, yep.
Yeah.
My mother mostly raised me, but I remember when she got another boyfriend. I thought he was awesome. I thought he was
That's great.
I really did, and I looked up to him. Like
Yeah.
I really looked up to him. I thought he was brilliant. He showed me things and opened up my world to things that I never even knew. He introduced me to podcasts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't know what
was way
talk
back.
radio.
Talk ra- that was that,
Well,
podcast
yeah,
back
well, it's
then.
talk radio, but
Yeah.
it's the
Right,
same
right.
thing.
Same thing,
Yeah.
right.
Sure.
He introduced me to that, and I had no idea what that was. I was like, "What is that? What is this?"
That's awesome.
You mean like there's other things other than music? Like,
Right.
and I was young, so to like
An
hear,
AM dial, like
Yeah.
introducing you to a whole new
you know what I
world.
mean? But it was like it's mostly like Opie and Anthony and like that type of talk radio, like the shock jock sort
Yeah.
of thing. But it was fun. It was fun. He also introduced me to like new music. I was like, wait, there's more than just hip hop? Like, what is this?
Was
like,
he in the picture for a long time?
long enough to make an impact.
God. But did you feel like attached to him?
No,
Yeah,
because
what's
I was always attached to my mom. So whatever she was riding with, like that was kind of it.
Yeah.
So, but while he was here, I was in. Hope you guys stick it out.
Right.
And that was pretty much it. But I really like connected with that dude.
Yeah.
But it just didn't work out between him and
The
me.
young lady I'm talking to right now, I've known her since high school,
Okay.
but we just knew each other.
Right.
But years later, we wind up through social media. We wind up reconnecting again, in like
Sure you
2015.
Unfinished business there. Crushes that will come full circle.
2015, and we connected again. But
Yeah.
back then she didn't have any kids. But then when I met her again in 2015, she had 2 kids, a older daughter and a son. And I've been around, so it's this the son and daughter are very close to me now. So
That's awesome.
yeah, I've made an impact in their life.
It's nice, right? I mean, I didn't grow up with a dad. I met my biological father, when I was an adult. And like, I don't know, it just seems, maybe it's because I'm getting older, so I have a different perspective. But when I see men wanting to be fathers,
Yeah.
or men that aren't biological fathers, but, want to be in someone else's kid's life,
Right.
or build that rapport to being a stepfather, whatever that might be. That's impressive to me, because I don't feel like when I was growing up, I saw dads do the things I see dads or dad figures do now.
Yeah.
Right.
Like really like the dad and the child going out all day. And that
Yeah.
should be something that isn't so surprising to me, but it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, wow, this is really cool seeing this difference of relationship building and how that'll hopefully really positively affect the kids.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that I want to be a dad super bad. Right? Super bad.
Be like me.
I really, really do. Like, I have visions and daydreams of just having 2 kids and like just doing the stupidest things with them. You know what I mean? Just
Right.
like the most craziest, unnecessary. Like, I'm talking like have them in the middle of the living room, like putting a bunch of pillows like an arena and telling both of them to fight for my love. You know what I mean? Just like dumb, stupid stuff like
Fight
that.
for your love.
Like, I cannot wait to like embarrass them. You know, I'm gonna be that guy. But not only that, but to like give
You're
them.
gonna be that guy.
I'm
that
so
pits your
gonna be that
kids
guy.
against
Oh,
each
I'm
other.
so gonna be that guy. But to give them exactly what I know now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because like
totally.
shout out to my mom. She did a great job. But there were some things that like I didn't know. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, you know, and it's not her fault. I'm not saying, you know, she should have did it better.
Sure.
It's not that. It's just certain things that, you know, I don't think, you know, a mom could probably tell her
Yeah.
son, you know,
Or maybe just
or
when
never
you were-
came up,
or maybe just a generational difference
Yeah.
too.
Could be a generational
right?
thing,
Like
yeah.
people talk about things in a different way
Different
than they
way,
did even
yeah.
20 years ago.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That's
You
very
know,
A
true.
lot of our parents are old school, so
That's true. That's very
now
true.
Just more, and plus, so they always say, when you're raising your child, there's gonna be some things you're not gonna be able to give it. So now, when your mom raised you a certain way,
Yes.
So now, when you have your children, there's some things that your mom didn't give to you that you're able to give to your children.
True. Yeah.
And it's gonna be the same way. When you have your children, there's some things that they feel that you didn't give to them that
Sure.
they're gonna be able to say.
Yeah,
"Daddy
that's
did."
true. But
So
see, I would
combine the
hope,
both of what you know, what
Yeah.
your mom didn't,
Yeah.
your mom didn't give you and give to them. So
you know, that's where, you know, it takes a village to raise it. Like, I
Right.
get that.
Yeah.
But I would hope that my kids would have like I don't know, just
They
be
don't
able to talk to
talk
me.
to you,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? I want that. I want an open dialogue.
even if you have a daughter, she could come talk to you about.
I would love that.
talk to you
I
about
would
sex,
love that.
Anything about that?
Oh,
Yeah,
so-
like I would love it. Yeah.
My Bermudian male friend.
Yeah.
We actually are semi on talking terms now. I mean, I don't know why he feels the need to tell me about so much of his sexual exploits, but you know,
Wow,
I guess
he
we're-
sounds like a great guy.
total great guy. He gave me a detail like a couple weeks ago. He sent me a picture of something. I was like, why would you ever think that that's something? you
Picture,
should
when you
tell
said
me?
a picture of
Of his-
something,
was it
yeah,
of his
crotch?
No,
Oh.
it wasned that. I mean, it wasn't the obvious things, but it was referencing what he was going to do later with another
This is so
woman.
large now.
Do you miss this? Was it Bermuda? No, it wasn't that at all. But he had said like about his daughter, and he's very old school. Like he's from like a working class family from like northern England. Like these is like, you know, salt of the earth working class people
Yeah.
that can be very old school about a lot of things, you know,
Yeah.
just culturally. And he had said that he hoped his daughter did come and talk to him about sex, and he
Yeah.
was like, I really hope that we have that relationship, that she can talk to me about all of it, and it's not, you know, I can teach her things
Yeah.
Yeah.
that I don't want her to learn somewhere else. You
Yeah.
know, I want her
Yeah.
to, and I was like, that's impressive. Like that's
Yeah.
I just don't think that I would ever have heard that from someone that I would know in my world 20, 30 years ago. You know what I mean?
I am aching because even growing up as like a teenager, I knew nothing about women. I knew nothing. But to have a son, it can go for my girl too, my little girl. It can go for that too. But to have like, if I had a son, oh my God, like I could like really teach him the proper way,
proper way.
and in order to do. So I was walking the other day.
Well, guys learn from porn. I mean, that's like often.
Yeah.
That's true. Like
Yeah.
guys learn from movies,
We don't know no better.
songs,
That's true.
whatever,
Right.
and porn. And
Porn.
there's a place for all of that.
Yeah.
But it's not teaching you a whole story about relationships and pleasure and whatever, you know,
Yeah.
whatever that is, like
Yeah.
the whole shebang.
It's true.
So you learn pop songs, like, you know, you learn this kind
Mm-hmm.
of perspective, and then girls and guys, you know.
Yeah. It's a
And girls learn to
society sort
act
of
that
thing.
way. Like, yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
do that.
yeah.
I wanna, you were saying you were walking down the street though. You're about to
Yeah. I was walking down the street and I don't do this at all. I really can't stand this. When like you see an attractive woman, and then the guy talks to her. You know what I mean? Like I get it. You know, you don't want to miss your opportunity or whatever the case is. But I feel like this happens so often to that one person.
Does it? In the age of now, people rarely talk to each other.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
still see it. I saw it the other day.
It's continuing.
I,
to-
I don't know. Well,
No, I
you
wanna
would
hear
know.
what you
You would
have to
know.
say.
Well, from what I saw is like his approach was just so aggressive. I'm like, what do you think? You think that she's gonna be like, yeah, thank you for pulling my arm and stopping me dead in my tracks for my number.
you'd be surprised.
Are you? No, that's the thing though. That's what bugs me out because
This
that
is-
works sometimes.
Oh, it does.
It works.
But
It drives me
works
crazy,
with
too.
certain people.
Yeah.
I would say, like, I'm gonna generalize because I don't think all guys are obviously aggressive.
Nah,
for
we all
women,
suck.
you
No,
know,
I'm
like
just
I'm,
kidding.
you know, I'm not gonna say that, but I would say and women do similar things, whatever. But I'm just saying for straight guys that are going up to girls and really aggressively, you know, hitting on them, certain guys, it works for them. I would say almost everyone else it doesn't. And it's the same guy that's successful all the time. The ones that aren't successful, they keep doing it, but they're not successful. But they're like, the odds will be in my favor. At
I
some
mean,
point in
yeah,
time.
I get it. It's a numbers game, but still, what I saw, I was just like, I would never tell my son to do that.
Is she into it at all?
It was very clear that first off, she was frightened. She was frightened.
Yeah,
she was
right.
listening to something, and then she's just like, who is this stranger touching me right now?
Right.
And then, you know, he kind of apologized. I saw him like, this is all like, you know, you're reading the body language
Sure.
and stuff. And she kind of like stopped because maybe like she knew him or something, but she didn't. And it just was like, oh, I realize what you're trying to do now. I thought you were
Right.
telling me something, but you're not telling me. You're trying to like get the number or whatever the case is. So I have to go. and that's
Yeah.
what happened. And it was just like, that's how you do it? Like, it blew my mind. Blew my mind that that's still a thing. And I got to thinking, like, I could teach like, that's not the way.
Have you ever hit on a woman that way?
No, I'm different. I'm a more shy guy, low key. So
look at
my
you.
approach is different. I'll be too nervous. I don't like rejection as
Yeah.
well. Rejection is,
What?
yeah.
I have
Rejection.
so many
say
thoughts on males with rejection.
You have to
Rejection.
be okay with rejection.
You're absolutely right.
You have to
But-
be. You have to be.
I
You
hate
just
rejection.
I hate it too. I hate it too, but
I hate it too. I hold on to rejection for the rest of my life. Every guy that's ever rejected me, I can give you the list of every person that I've wanted on one way or the other,
Mm-hmm.
and they've told me something, or I'm like, this will stay in my brain forever. This will
But
never
it's hard
go
to
away.
it's hard to like really think about a woman getting rejected. Like you guys get rejected.
it is because we get
Wow.
rejected so often. So
Well, yeah, I mean, you can be rejected like
In a different way.
at the gate, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like immediately, like
Yeah.
no, not
Yeah,
interested. Or you
exactly.
can be rejected deeper in. And
True.
Yeah, true.
You can be, and I've been in relationships where I've been turned down physically in the relationship, and you know, we don't always think that happening, but it does.
Oh,
you
I
know?
mean, yeah, it does.
Or like like later on, but rejection is rejection.
True.
It sucks.
It
It's not great if
sucks.
it's relationship wise, if it's a job. I mean,
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
right? Like it feels horrible.
Yeah.
Makes you feel like you're not good enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
But you can't take it
you
personal,
know,
I guess.
You know what bothers me more than rejection though?
What?
That air of after, like that what if area, like because you don't know,
Right, I get
If
what
you
you're saying.
if you don't put yourself out there, you don't know what could happen,
Okay, yeah.
and that hurts. That bothers me way more than knowing it's a no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It took me a while to get there.
I get
Yeah,
what
it's a
you're
more
saying.
immature.
Yeah.
If you can get there.
Yeah,
it's a mature
it took me a
perspective,
while
for
to
sure.
get there, but that like, oh gosh, I could have been here, or I could have did this, or I could have been on a date with this person, but because I was afraid of rejection,
Someone
it
once
just
told me that too. And no,
Yeah.
no won't hurt. Just you don't know if you don't give it a try.
that's true. It's so true though. There's so many doors that can open up,
up.
with like you just just
Taking that risk.
you just gotta put yourself out there.
yourself
And
out there.
being vulnerable
You do.
is so difficult. Believe me, I know it's difficult. I know you know it's difficult. I know you know it's
It's
difficult.
ended me in 8 zillion relationships, so I shouldn't have started. It's like, I should just give it a chance. You never know. You never know.
But you got
You
to.
know?
But do you think that, because you went through what you went through, that not only are you smarter, but you're a better person because of it?
I would hope so.
I mean, smarter is all relative, right? Because
Yeah.
you keep making the same mistakes.
I mean-
it doesn't mean you're stupid, but
No,
you're not
right,
getting
right.
it.
Yeah, okay,
I
right.
think that I think it's jaded me, but I also think that what I've learned in the last like 6 months probably is just not to give so much. You know, like when
Yeah.
you're first meeting someone, even if you're not, like having your boundary of not investing into something, because that's
Yeah.
the rejection that really hurts, right? Like someone not wanting you off the surface, you're like, whatever, like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
well, your type could be the opposite of me, and that's not about me, you
Yeah.
know. But I think women do this often, is they're nurturers. You know, they
Yeah.
meet people and they want to like help take care of someone. They might neglect themselves,
Yeah.
and then in a couple of months or a couple of years, it doesn't work out, and they're like, what? After all I've done for you, you know, like
Yeah.
it's this hostility and this resentment of expectation that someone else didn't necessarily put on you. You know, you did, and then you feel like you've given more than that person earned. And that's what I've learned as like my number one lesson about be vulnerable, but have your boundary of taking care
boundaries
of
are
yourself first.
super important. Yeah,
And that's so easy to say and so hard to actually apply. When you're getting
when you're
into
in
someone
it,
and you're
it's
really
true.
like into them.
It's true.
How rare is that you meet someone that you're like really into? You know, like we can date all we want, but how often have you met someone that you were like really into? You
Not
know,
often, yeah.
especially as you get older, where it's not just about physical attraction. You're looking for certain qualities, and people you can really hang out with.
Yeah.
They fill that great friendship quota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have things in common. I mean, there's a million things, right? When you're, I had a professor in college that talked about attraction being like a pyramid. You know,
Right.
when you're a teenager, if someone's hot, okay, that's great. That's
Yeah.
it. They meet all the requirements.
Yeah.
You know, and then like as you get older, like it narrows to being like the population of who you're dating narrows,
Yeah.
but also you want more out of it.
Yeah.
You know, like whatever that is to you, but you want more from that relationship. Like, well, do they read? Do they like to travel?
Can they read?
Yeah. Like, you know, whatever your hobbies are, you know,
Yeah.
it's not just about do they groom themselves and are they, you know, normal? Like
Yeah.
it turns into this whole like, but are they funny? Are they clever funny or silly funny? Or, you know, it's like this
Right,
whole
right.
thing where it becomes so much. So these are the lessons I've learned.
Yeah.
And I have a million stories that don't sound like I've learned anything, but I think it's, you know, it's tough. And that aggressive, the thing I was going to say about the aggressive hitting on thing is
Yeah, please.
I don't find it's about hitting on people. Like I haven't really, I moved to the city like 10 years ago.
Okay.
So to me back then I looked a little greener, right? You know, like I didn't look like, oh, I'm a native New
Right,
Yorker.
right.
I didn't have the look of constant agitation in my face. People are like, oh, this girl looks so happy. I'm going to hit on her.
I could tell the gang affiliation.
Yes. Yeah. A gang killer, Sean. But it's hilarious. I can't even like come back something funnier than that. That was great.
Thank you.
But people used to approach me more, and I think because I look more vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I've learned, from my perspective, a lot of guys that are really aggressive, they're looking for vulnerability. They want you to not be with your friends. They want you to not look physically threatening to them in any way. You know, they want you to look like you have your headphones on, your guards down.
Yeah.
You know, and I used to dress, I used to be like 20 pounds lighter. Not that I'm big, but, you know, I used to wear much more form-fitting clothes. And I stopped because I was so sick of guys saying things to me in the street.
Yeah.
Like, and I'd be by myself. There was one time I was waiting for a bus and I had on this dress and it was backless.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, very form-fitting, but it flared at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then I had heels on, fully done up. It's like a weekend, whatever. And these guys came up. I'm waiting for a bus on like First Avenue or something in complete dark. There's no one around.
Yeah.
And they're crossing the street and they're mumbling about how the dress would look better on their floor and da 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 da. And you know, like that to me is more what I see is like, it's just, and I'm by myself. Like if guys don't realize that's physically threatening.
It's super threatening.
And they
yeah.
don't think about it. They're with their buddies. They're
Yeah.
trying to be cool. Maybe I'll actually smile. It'll spark a conversation. Or where I'm from at the beach in the South, like people used to run around the beach, like in this like loop. It would be night or day. People would yell from you or honk on their car or yell things at you. That's not going to start a conversation. Like that's not hitting on someone, but they kind of think in the
Yep.
same spectrum of hitting on someone or like cattle calling.
Yeah.
And some women love that. Like I've been cattle called a couple times and been like, yeah, nice. But the percentage of times I've actually liked it versus feeling threatened
Yeah.
is really different.
It's yeah,
so if
I
someone,
bet.
like there was a guy years ago, he worked at one of the salad places in the city. It's like 8 years ago. I was walking down the street. I just left a job interview and he came up and he was aggressively hitting on me. And you know, women, if you say I have a boyfriend, a guy will back off. I think it's a property thing versus like, you're like, oh, that's someone else's, that's another man's.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
But if you say I'm not interested, that becomes this whole, but wait. You know,
Yeah.
it's, so I usually say I have a boyfriend. And this guy was like, so, you know, like he just, and he had like a Just Salad shirt on or something. He had just left work. I was like, good for you. It's like 2 PM. And he walked with me
Put
for
himself out
several
there.
blocks.
Yeah.
Like had like an umbrella, just like continuously. I was like, listen, I give you credit
Excuse me, sorry.
for the effort. But to me that it was aggressive, but it wasn't threatening aggressive.
Right,
We were in a
right.
crowded place, like it was middle of the afternoon, like Midtown. Like I was like, all right, I don't feel threatened by that.
Well, see,
he's doing what he wants to do.
it was very
Good for you.
clear. I'm sorry, were you finished?
No, I was finished.
Okay. It was very clear that moment, like he clearly he was just like, shoot my shot,
Yeah, that-
and
right.
a genuine shooting your shot without the like. It's one thing to be aggressive on like a physical level, but like if you're mentally aggressive, meaning like I'm gonna put myself out there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's different. It's different because his mentality it seemed to be aggressive. Like he was wearing the shirt,
But
and
he wasn't like saying super aggressive.
right. But he wasn't
things
saying
or
super
getting
yeah.
in someone's space.
Right. He wasn't getting in your space. He didn't disrespect you in
Yeah,
a way.
right.
And see, to piggyback.
My imaginary boyfriend got very disrespected. During
Oh,
that.
yeah,
But
definitely,
I was
definitely.
fine. Yeah.
And to piggyback off of what you said, how you felt threatened that night when those dudes.
Oh, yeah.
We as men, we don't have that empathy, like to understand that every time a woman goes out on a date, she has to worry about whether she is going to get sexually assaulted.
A date, walking down
Oh
the
yeah,
street.
walking down the street. You know what I mean? When is the last time you said to yourself when you was spraying your cologne and you was going out that, man, I hope this chick doesn't rape me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You never said
never
that.
said
And
that, yeah.
occasionally it does happen, right?
No,
Like,
yeah, I'm not saying.
men
Yeah, I'm not
don't,
saying
you
it,
know.
it doesn't.
But
But I'm
it's
saying
a very different
it's
daily
different, yeah.
perspective on the subway, on the street.
Yeah, it's different.
There was a let's really get this conversation depressing. There was a rape on the Upper East Side maybe like a month ago, and it was like 7:30 at night on the Upper East Side. It was still daylight, it's like summer, and I think it was a 19-year-old. She got off the train, and it was in one of those like scaffolding kind of construction zones. And every time I walk by one of them now, like you go through the tunnel, and
Yeah.
you're not actually like walking on the street, but it's all totally enclosed on both sides. I've been walking around them. But like these are the things. These are the things that, and at 2:00 in the afternoon, I've been walking around them. And I think it's like, not that I'm scared to go to the Upper East Side, but it's kind of those small details are so different. I mean, I dated someone who was 6'5", and he had worked on this like true crime show, and this true crime was all about like men killing women. And he was like, "Well, do women really think like all the time? Are they really always scared?" I'm like, "Are you an idiot? Of course,
Right.
all the time. Even if we're not scared, it's in
You are
our mind."
You are mentally aware of your surroundings.
Totally.
Like I remember several times me just coming home from work. I'm in a uniform, like so. But I remember being in. I hate doing this. I hate walking in back of women because I'm not that guy. Like I'm not gonna hurt you at all. But you don't know that. You know what I mean? So like I was pulling out my keys because I thought that, hey, I'm going to make a sound, so at least you know that I'm not trying
Right.
to sneak up on you,
Sure.
right?
I was
So
liking people do that.
yeah, so I made a noise, but once I saw her, hit me with the lean,
The over the shoulder.
yeah, that
look,
over the shoulder. I'm like, okay, she's acknowledging that I'm back, so I slowed my pace. I didn't want to like and crouch or anything. She immediately was like, nope, I'm just gonna cross the street, and I felt bad.
You didn't do anything wrong.
I know, but still, like the fact that you have to not wear form-fitting dress now because like people don't know how to behave. That's not right. I don't think that's fair.
It isn't fair,
No,
right?
no,
but
it's not.
It's interesting, and
Yeah.
it goes into dating too, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't even dress the same for dates as I did, but I'm also older. I'm 10 years older, so like my
Right.
style's changed and my
yeah,
preferences have changed. But there's a big part of that. Like I don't wear the same heels I used to. I remember when I first moved to the city, a bunch of people from my high school lived here, and one of them, their significant other, I think he was from this area. He just told me like what a prostitute I looked like all night because I had these huge
Wow.
heels on.
Wow.
And I just thought I was so messed up. Like, how you barely know me and you're going to tease me, but not in a way where it's funny, where you're going to bring it up constantly. Like, God, those are such stripper shows. You look like a total prostitute.
Okay, first off, shout out to prostitutes and strippers. Why are we shaming them? Let's not do that.
Yeah, I mean, sex workers, do your thing.
Do your thing.
But it's like, to me, I felt like I was going to cry like all
Yeah.
night. It's like, is this a power thing?
Yeah, that's messed up.
Or are you threatened by the way? Because I'm not a super risque dresser. You know, it's not like that, or it's like I'm wearing a tube top and for top and bottom. I mean, even if I was, so what? You know, like it's. But he kept on all night, and I was just thinking, if I wanted to talk to any guy all night, I wouldn't have, because I felt bad on myself.
Yeah.
And I think that's just such a cultural thing that women do and guys do and whatever. But it's interesting to me. Like I was saying that guy I dated who worked in true crime, I was trying to give him an example, and this is a few months ago, and we went into a rest stop, and his 5-year-old kid was in the car. So sorry. I'm trying to be subtle and I'm doing a really bad job. This is all coming together too well. So I said, why don't you go use the restroom at the rest stop? I'll stay in the car with the kid because she was sleeping, and then we'll switch out. You know, it's kind of, if I was a parent, I guess that's what I would do. So I guess I went first. So I came back in the car and I told him this one guy. And I said, just look for him if you see him. And when he got back in the car, I was like, that's the guy. As soon as I walked in, the way he locked eyes with me, it was almost like if I was running a bodega, I knew that guy was going to steal something in the corner. And the way he locked eyes with me was totally like a thief. But I don't know what he was stealing because he was just like standing in the rest stop. I came out of the bathroom. It was a large, like, you know, whatever, large rest stop bathroom. And like I came out of the bathroom and he was right there.
Whoa.
And then I had a jersey on or whatever, doing this thing. It could have been a complete coincidence, but if everyone in this busy rest stop, I made eyes on him first, like, watch that guy. I need, like, mentally, I need to know where he is if I'm here. And then when I went back to the car, I didn't tell him this because I wasn't trying to start drama or anything. But I was saying, this is the kind of things as a woman you do.
Yeah.
You know, know where that guy is, go do your thing, but know where he is at all times. You know, and he could have been totally harmless.
Yeah.
But these are just like learned behaviors that I don't know if guys think about that in any similar way.
Yeah. Like,
and maybe they do, but I don't know.
My mom tells me a lot, like, it's hard being a woman out there because, you know, at night she would just lock up all the chains. Like, what are you doing? Like, she just like, you don't understand. It's tough being a woman, and you know, in these days, you know. So they think a little different.
Of course.
You know. So
of course.
You know, you hear stories about still goes on. People slipping Mickeys in your drink at the bar.
Yeah.
Guys trying to offer you drinks, not buying drinks. You know.
Yeah.
So,
or never accepting a drink you didn't see that was
seeing a drink right. It was made right in front of you. So I forgot. You got to think about all of those things.
It's always bad.
I mean, no one buys me a drink ever. So, like,
really?
Again, like, it's like you're saying guys approaching girls. It just doesn't happen as much now.
Wait, that doesn't happen?
What? No one ever approaches me. No one ever.
Wait, you don't get approached? Are you serious?
No, I can't tell you the last time I was approached by a guy. It's been years.
Wow.
Really?
I mean, Tinder apparently has really given me some good love connections, so I can't complain. I've really got the winner section of Tinder. And then before that, I met my 3-year boyfriend on Tinder. So, you know, 3 boyfriends from Tinder.
Okay.
I'm really...
I'm just going to say this. I'm going to put this out there right now. Tinder is lit.
Yeah,
Tinder is...
Is that like one of the top dating sites or something like that?
Plenty of fish.
It is a hookup site that a lot of people use for dating. You can use it for what you want it to be. But when you see people being super sexual, you're like, well, I'm on Tinder. Like, you know,
okay.
it's not what I'm looking for, but more power to you. Like, do your thing. You know, I don't get offended by it.
Yeah.
But I could write a book about online dating.
Oh my God.
I've done it off and on for 8 years, unless I've been seeing someone, or if I just every 6 months I'm like, I just don't care. And I'll go like 6 months where I'm like, I don't have time for this. But I've been flown to a different state for a date, a second date. He flew up here for the first date. I had someone tell me to kill myself, call me the C word, and tell me to put my fist. I bet you can tell where. All texting me because I just told him I wasn't interested. I'd never even met him.
What a hater.
What's
wrong with that dude?
It was just so aggressive. I was like, and I actually wrote back to him. I was like, what a gentleman. And he was just like, F you, and put your, you know, telling me, you know, to kill myself repeatedly. And then calling me the C word repeatedly and telling me where to put my fist repeatedly. And
just because you didn't like him.
Well, he had been giving my number like an idiot. And then we were talking, well, he was talking for a month. And he kept contacting me. I kept saying, oh, can't go. Jumping in the shower. Oh, can't go. Running out the door. Oh, can't go. Like, it literally was so clear I was not interested. And I was...
we don't get that. We don't understand that at all. Like,
but I was cutting it off. It wasn't even like I was being, oh, I'll talk to you when I get home. It was like, can't talk. I'm busy.
Yeah.
And then after a month, I was like, dude, I'm sorry. I'm not. He just gave me red flags
Oh,
all
okay.
over the place, and I was like, I'm just not interested in meeting, but I wish you the best, and I hope you find a good match. And then I was like, well, fuck you. Going into this whole tirade. I ended up reporting him because I was like, what is this guy about? Yeah. So but then I have good stories, and then I have stories about like going out with people that were not attractive or interesting that wanted to blow me up. I was like, wait, what?
You have any stories with what do you call it? Getting catfish? Someone that
lying about what they
how they
look
look
like.
And when you meet them, you look for the person. Like, I'm right here. And you're looking, and it's a totally different person.
It hasn't happened to me.
Wow.
I mean, I've probably been on dates with at least 100 people from.
Really?
And not like exaggerating in my 75,000 moves. Like, this is true. But this is also over like 8-9 years, And then I went on one date with a guy. I lived on the Upper East Side, and I could not have found him less interesting. But I kind of feel like if you're out with someone, enjoy your evening. Be respectful.
Yeah.
Don't be a jerk. Don't run out the door because they don't meet your attractive meter. Just like be a normal, nice person. I was like, God, I'm so not interested in this person. This is so shallow. Can I get into the bad?
Yeah, go right ahead.
So I wasn't into his style, but I was like, whatever. Sometimes I look pretty rough. Like right now after moving, like this isn't my best look. So I was like, you can't always judge someone on what they're, presenting.
Okay, go ahead.
But you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you're looking your best. Sometimes it's not. You don't care. It's not your priority.
Right.
So, so this guy, he had pores on his nose that were so large that I was astounded that any human had pores that were that large.
All right.
And when someone has large pores, it's not because they're so clean. Like, you're not nosing. It's like, oh, that guy's skin is great.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, like if someone has some acne or something, I'm not that shallow, but like, it was so intense. So then we're having a drink. He's like, oh, we should go get an appetizer down the street at this Greek place. I'm like, okay. Like, what do I have to do? Like, my night's already here. That's fine. So I go and have a appetizer with them. So this guy has on these, like, sandals. And we're sharing finger foods. Like, we're sharing, like a mezza plate, with, like, tzatziki and hummus and whatever. So he is petting the dog near us that we don't know and sharing. Well, like, don't get me wrong. I love dogs. Like, I touch strange dogs all the time on the street. Like, can I pet your dog? Da-da-da-da. But I don't know why it struck me as weird. And then I realized it struck me as weird because he also was picking at his feet and taking the sandals off.
What are you saying right now?
He was slipping. I guess something was irritating on his foot.
No.
His
Like
toes,
those calluses and picking it up and touching the food and the dog.
He would like slip his sandal off and like almost like fidget touch his toes and then go back in for more food.
Oh no!
And I didn't eat that much because I was like, I can't handle this. I can't.
You stayed?
I don't know what's wrong with me, but yes.
You are a trooper.
So then, so I stayed, and then there was a dessert there that I really liked that's very specific to Turkish food. Like, you're not going to get it everywhere. And I told him that I liked it. He's like, oh, do you want to order that dessert? I was like, yeah, I guess I do. Because I hadn't.
touching it.
Because I didn't eat much of this appetizer, right? And, so
and you were starving.
I was starving, and the sun had gone down at this point. I was like, I'm so hungry. And then as soon as the dessert hit the table, I could tell that he was looking at me like, oh, this fucking girl, she's still here. We're still on this date. Like, he looked over me completely.
Whoa.
These are the ways that I've been. My rejection is like, that poor guy? That poor? Like, poor as
nose
in
poor?
nose
Yeah.
poor? The foot picker? This is too much.
Wow.
So that was intense. We met online.
So
I have a million of these stories.
So basically, okay. So
This is what we should have a whole podcast devoted to my dating life.
Yeah.
All right. So what's like? All right, your time. Is it a time thing? Is that why you're going online, or is it just like this is what you're comfortable with doing?
Say more.
Like, okay, all right. So, would you prefer to meet people online, or would you rather meet them in person?
Yeah, I'd totally rather meet them in person.
Okay.
But I work a lot, and
okay. So it's a time thing. Is it? So would you say it's a time thing?
It's like, how can I meet someone maybe outside of my circle or inside? You know, my circle's kind of closed. It's like a dot. It's not like a real circle. So it's like, I think that you can meet new people. For years, I'd go out with people for a date if they were just visiting.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, cool. Like, I like other countries. Like, maybe we could. Like, I've met people from foreign countries and visited them before. You know, like, why not? And then I finally was like, I don't have time for that. You know, like, I don't have time for some weird dinner with a guy. Oh, I'm
Go for it.
totally occupying our time. I
No,
want to hear
you're-
other
you're-
people's stories.
No.
Look, stories about bad dates. Okay, is that where we're going? Because I can go there. There was this. This is a while ago, and I went out went out on this date with this girl, and I met her online, Tinder, matter of fact.
Oh,
Tinder.
you have a Tinder one as well?
Come on, man.
We need like a
that's not-
Tinder bell. Like every time one of us says,
I have a
just
bell.
ring it.
Don't get me started.
Great.
So we went out, we met up. She was very, very attractive. We hit it off fairly well via Tinder, you know. And the first red flag I couldn't believe it. This is okay. All right, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get through this. Okay, so I met her, and there was this food truck there. Shook hands. Hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And it was this food truck, and it was selling like empanadas and like, you know, tacos and all sorts of things. So she's like, "Oh, I'm hungry." I'm like, okay, yeah, like I'll give you something to snack on before, you know, because we were supposed to go to the movies.
Sounds like a dirty talk.
Yeah.
I gave you something to
I
snack
use
on.
So because we were going to the movies and then we were going to go to the bar. So
You went. I'm sorry. You decided to go to a movie for your first date with somebody?
yeah,
Girls hate that.
Really?
she did.
I thought that's like how you ease into like a relationship.
No,
You start off
No,
like
no,
a
no,
little
they're
movie, something light.
People
No?
love movies, but if you've never, I actually like it. But most girls I know hate going to the movies a first date because they don't know that person yet. They
No,
have to
see,
sit in a dark room.
here's the
alone.
thing:
Gotcha.
you don't do. I knew what she liked already,
Okay.
so
Okay, okay.
I didn't.
I support it. Continue the story.
Yeah, I didn't go in saying, "Hey, we're going to the movies," and I didn't ask if you like movies. Period. I didn't do that. I knew there was something she wanted to see, so then I said, "Okay, so we should go to the movies and see that."
Got you.
And so it was fine. Yeah.
Continue.
So I was like, "Yeah, okay, I'll get you something to eat. Let's do this." So she was like, she went to the dude, and she was like, "Can I have some? You got a fish taco?" I said, "What? You want a fish taco? That's a weird thing to ask for on a date because of the smell." But okay, fine.
Oh, I wouldn't have thought that at all.
Yeah.
Because if she doesn't eat meat, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other
Yeah,
options
that's
too,
options,
but
yeah.
anyway, it gets worse. You know,
Uh-oh.
so it's a flag for me because I'm thinking a lot,
I 1,000,000% would order a fish taco.
and that's fine. I don't have a problem with whatever you want to get.
Stinky
But here's-
breath.
I mean, yeah, that's on you. Don't ask for no. Okay, anyway, so she's like, "Yeah, can I get you got fish tacos?" And the guy's like, "Well, no, we don't really have that." You know, so she got something else, and she was like, "You got any milk?" And I was just like, "What is this day gonna be?
Yeah.
What is happening right now?"
The milk thing is weird.
You think? So, we're taking a train to go into the city, and because I was like, "Yo, we could find some place that you can sit down and eat comfortably," and she was like, "No, let's just go into the train." I was like, "You wanna open your food down in the subway car with a bunch of people and
Yeah.
like eat? That's your thing?" And she's like, "Yeah." I'm okay, fine. So we sit down in the train, and she, of course, opens up this food, and the air is just so everybody's now just like, what's going on over there?
Yeah.
What's happening over here? So now she
While drinking her milk.
that she didn't have because what? I got her a water
Go to that bodega real fast so I can get some milk.
yeah,
for
what
the
do you want, like a
subway trip.
quart? like no, 2%. Anyway, so so she's eating her food in the subway, and we have this conversation, right, where we're talking about our dream houses and like what we want in our dream houses, right?
Right.
So I'm telling her, yeah, like I want like some real like Batman type stuff. Like I want like a wall that like looks like a wall, but it's like a panic room behind it. Just saying like some
Sounds great. I want that.
yeah, some
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
cool stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then so I was like, what do you want? She said she said she wants her bedroom to be like the roof on her bedroom to be open. So I'm saying like
Like glass.
that's what I thought. She
Yeah.
was like, I was like, oh, so you want to like see the elements and stuff, like you want to see like the moon and the stars, and so I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. And she's like, nay. was like, wait, that's not what you're saying? She's like, no. I want it open. I'm like, you want to like feel the breeze of the outside air inside of your house? She said, yes.
But suppose it rains and snows.
And I asked her that. I was like, so what if it rains or snows? She took a moment like she never thought of that question.
Was she a hippie?
I don't know what she was, but
Was
this
they
was
hippie?
the thing is, if she was making a joke,
Did she live in a tent?
Yeah.
if she was making a joke, right? If this was like her personality,
Yeah.
I would be totally fine with this. Cause like she's just being like goofy. I get it.
Sure.
She was not being goofy. She was being goofy, but like unintentionally being goofy. Like she just didn't get it. So
Extra question.
Yeah.
You know, so I heard stories of women sometimes when they meet a guy and they are turned off when they first meet you. So they try to do everything they can to be a turn off from the jump. So maybe she was doing that on purpose to try to like make you look at her weird.
That's a good point.
now see that is a good
That would be
point.
stupid. Why can't she just be honest and like, listen now?
And it was a good point. If the night didn't end the way she wanted it to, I would have believed that.
Okay.
But it's not the case. Because if she look, I've had dates where the girl goes, I'm sorry, my dog just died. I gotta go to his funeral right now.
Yeah.
You know, like so
I have
like,
an
okay.
emergency. I gotta go. Right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. So that's like
You
that's
take the- you
easy
can
to
take the hint,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's easy to like get out of.
Get out
Like,
of, right.
You don't have to do that with me if you're not feeling it, it's fine.
I like to use the headache excuse.
What's the headache excuse?
Oh my God, my head hurts
Your
so
head
bad. I
hurts.
gotta go home and lay down.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I do get headaches. That's why a lie is best if it
If
is
it's
partially
real,
in truth.
yeah.
Or the women use is that time in the month so they can't have sex with you kind of
Yeah,
thing.
okay, fine.
Yeah.
It's continuously that time of the month that my head is going. I need to go home. I'm dying.
Yeah, so I would feel that way, but that I wasn't getting those vibes. This girl is just who she is. She's genuinely who she is. So we're in the movies, right? And I'm the type of guy I don't like talking during the movie.
Yeah.
Like
That's good.
it's
Yeah.
one
Good
thing.
quality.
It's fine if you want to chat it up, like during those like, oh, who
trailers.
did this? Tom Hanks, like like those things. Even if it's like previews,
Yeah.
and like something looks cool, and you lean over and you're like, yo, we should go see that. Like that's fine.
that's
Like,
fine,
that's
right.
fine.
Reviews are neutral.
Yeah, that's fine. But don't talk during the movie.
movie.
Ooh, it's a pet peeve of mine.
Me too.
I
Yeah.
cannot stand that. So during the whole movie, I swear to you, from the beginning to the end, this girl would not stop talking. And I didn't say anything to her. Anything. Because,
Something wrong with this person?
yes. Yes.
I mean, I don't mean something wrong like let's make fun of her. I mean like something wrong like development. Like maybe she
I don't
had
know, but I would
a little
rather make fun of
something.
her. So I don't know.
Wow. Is that bad?
Yes, it was horrible.
Let's hear the story.
So she's like, and it was a horror movie too. So it's just like, don't go in there.
Right.
Why would she go in there?
Yeah.
Oh, she's gonna get killed. You think she's gonna get? Don't include me in what you're doing right now. Like, yeah. Why would she do that? Oh no, she's gonna get. And she's just like talking, having these conversations throughout the entire movie. The entire movie.
I want to say something so bad,
Yeah,
but I don't
please.
want it to be misinterpreted.
No, say it. Go for it.
I don't want to sound like an ass.
Go for it.
Continue your story.
It's okay. Like you can say it. It's fine.
Yeah.
There are certain ethnicities that have
Yeah.
generalizations. I'm not saying I believe it. but
You're
it's
right.
Said very often.
You're right. Yes.
Certain people from different backgrounds
Yeah.
and specific backgrounds can be more chatty.
This is true.
Yeah.
I know people that won't go to the movies in certain neighborhoods of the city
Yeah.
because there's so much talking
So
or
will
talk
I.
back at the screen.
Yes, I get it. But
Maybe that was a thing. Like, is she like culturally? That's something like she's involved in the
I
film.
understand. I
you know?
understand. But
Especially a horror movie, because like, oh my god, like people have things.
and
to
I
say.
don't mind. And see, here's the thing. I'm not a evil dictator on a date.
Right.
If I want you to be you.
Yeah, sure.
So if you're like, if something genuinely surprises you, and you're like, what? That's crazy.
Right.
Like if you freak out during a movie, I'm not gonna be like, hey, stop having fun and enjoying this cinematic adventure. Like, I'm not gonna say that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let you, do your
I
thing.
gotta hear how the date ended.
Okay,
I
so
want to get to the weirdest part.
so we go to a bar because I'm gonna be a man of integrity, and I said I was gonna do this, so we're gonna do it.
Right.
Go to this bar, and I say, what do you want to drink? Get her the drinks.
Milk.
Yeah.
Bourbon and milk.
That was good. So we're chilling, having a good time, right? She's starting to, okay, it starts to get a little bit more weird now, because now she's feeling the music. She's like, I'm feeling loose. Like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Like, so she's like starting to dance, and she starts like to dance on me, but not in this sexy way. It's a really like, she's trying to be provocative, but at this point, I'm so like not into it that I still let her, I'm not going to be the guy to like, could you please just not grind on me the way you're doing? So, she was just doing her thing. And, like 5 minutes later, we're talking, and she just starts bawling. And I'm like,
Oh no.
what are you okay? And she's like, you're a nice guy, but like I just left a relationship. Like she had a husband. She was like divorced, going through a divorce, and she was just really like, she just started bawling like in the bar. So I'm like, hey, it's okay.
I've
like
done that several times.
like it really threw me off. It really threw me off because I didn't see it coming.
She's saying like she wasn't ready to like
No, she
be on a
just
date with someone.
she literally was just like, you're so nice, I can't stand him. So it was clear that she was still like mentally not over this
over it.
this
Not
person.
ready, yeah.
So you're the rebound guy, kind of. She's using you to take her
I don't-
right off of him, kind of.
Maybe it could have been, but again, further down, once we spoke about the situation, and she seemed to be fine. There was also a weird money situation that happened, because I told her like she don't have to worry about anything, like I'll pay for it. And when she went to the bathroom, I told the hostess that was like looking after us, I told her, listen, she's gonna try to find out how much this is. Don't tell her anything, okay? Because I just knew there was patterns there. I felt like you don't need to know that. What are you doing?
Right.
So she went to the bathroom, and she came back. That's when I talked to the hostess. And when I went to the bathroom and I came back, the hostess looked at me and said, you were right. She did exactly that, but I didn't tell her anything. I was like, thank you. So I gave her a tip for doing that. But anyway, as the night progressed, and she was, fine after the tears and all that stuff, she started really opening up about how she was like, she asked me this question and came out of nowhere. She said, do you feel comfortable? Have you ever, and did you swing before? Do you know what swinging is? And I was like, yeah, I know what it is, but I never done it. And I was like, did you? And she was telling me about like how there was this party that she went to, and they were encouraging people to like take off their clothes. It was getting wild. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Why are we having this conversation now again? And then that's when she was telling me how like, I said, because I felt like it was getting late. She was getting a little too much.
She needed kind of a therapy session.
Yeah. So I said, listen, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna take you home. And she was like, no, we don't have to go home. I'm like, where else are we gonna go? She's like, we could go to your house. I'm like, no, we can't. I'm gonna take you home, because that wasn't, no, thank you. So I took like, even on the train, it was just so weird. She was just like hanging on to me like so tight, like I was gonna float away somewhere. It was a lot of different emotions coming from her from that entire date, but it was so bad for me. It was so bad for me.
This poses like an interesting question, right? Because I think this is a first date, right?
Yes.
And as someone that has a lot of first date crazy stories,
Yeah.
I've finally learned what not to do on a first date after going through having dates with people and they do something and it's like, oh God, I do that and I need to stop doing that. You know, like oversharing or getting emotional or whatever. Because a first date should be chill. You don't know this person. You have nothing invested. And if you're trying to start with intensity, we're going to go from there. Like, just have fun.
Yeah,
you
have
can talk
fun.
about serious stuff.
Of course.
Later, there'll be time if there's a connection. What are things that if someone, like, what's like 2 or 3 things on a first date that if a girl does, you're like, nope. I mean, fish tacos must be one of your things. But, like, what's something where it's like, God, that person talks so much, or that person was disrespectful, or whatever. Whether it's something, you know,
You want
having
to
big
take
pores on their nose or whatever, you know?
Like a pet peeve that was like a turn off.
Something where it's like, oh, this is,
Like on the
they
first
should
date.
know better not to do this. And if they're
That's a
doing
good
it now,
question.
this is a
I
red
can't think
flag.
of one right
All
now.
right, so I'm gonna just jump in.
Oh, you know right away.
Of course. Don't be on your phone.
Oh,
too
yeah.
much.
Okay.
Like if you're on
one.
Facebook or if you're
Yeah.
on if you're on Tinder,
You're
that's,
swiping.
To know why I'm
You're just
Oh my
like,
God.
no.
I can't tell you how many times someone's gone to the bathroom and I'm like, swipe.
Oh my goodness.
But it's just killing time.
Wow.
No.
You're on a date, but still
on
swiping.
Yeah, you're on a date and you're fishing. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's
First of all,
crazy.
first date is not real that commit. It's not very committal.
That
you
is
know?
still crazy.
Yes.
You should be in that moment. That
They're
is
in the
nuts.
bathroom. In my moment,
it's-
I'm on my
What?
phone.
It's all about
That
respect.
is nuts. That's nuts. That's nuts.
Maybe I haven't been asked out on a second date because people have noticed this,
nuts.
but
You
not
think?
to my knowledge.
Gotta stay in the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nuts.
But I like that
would
one.
never
You're
do
right
that.
about that, the phone
Of
thing.
course, yeah.
Yeah.
Like if we're not engaged, you know. And I'm not saying there's like certain moments like you may get a text and you're like, oh, excuse me. And I'm
But
not,
that's
you
a
know.
thing for me too. Sorry, did you? Wanna
No, because I was
take
gonna
that?
say like I've told a woman that before, but then some women have children, so they have to keep their
Yeah,
phones on.
yeah, I
right,
understand.
right.
Just in
that.
case, you know,
Of course,
whatever.
Whatever reason you need
yeah,
to.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
put it on
Of
vibrate,
course.
yeah. But it's
Of
like,
course.
I mean,
I went out with a guy from Tinder who's
Shout out to Tinder.
surprised. Like
This podcast has been sponsored by Tinder.
we should send this to them. You never
should.
know, right?
We should. Maybe like 2 months ago, I met this guy, and he was kind of foreign. And he was doing a surgical internship, and he was technically like a doctor already. And I was like, well, like I'm not someone super money grabbing, but like if someone's worked hard towards anything, particularly
Yeah.
something academic, I'm impressed with that
Yeah.
because I have the attention span of a fly. You know? So I'm like, that's great. And I like that he was a doctor. I actually had this like bump on my finger. And before we even met, I sent him a picture of it. And I was like, I've never had a bump on my hand. Can you tell me what this is? And he diagnosed it. So I already was like, even if we never meet, I saved myself like a wasted doctor's appointment copay.
Yeah.
So
Fact.
yeah, I was like, whatever. So we ended up, we went out, and he lives like kind of towards Long Island. God, this whole date is so worth talking about, but I'll get to the good parts. So we've been texting for a couple of weeks, and because of schedules, we hadn't actually like landed on a day.
Yeah.
He's doing a surgical internship. I try to be patient, but also, you know, if someone's not really trying to make it happen, that's a sign, you know. But I just kind of saw it as like, he's busy. I can't assume what his deal
Right.
is. So he drives to my neighborhood in Queens, and we meet at a bar, and he's a handsome guy, but he had definitely gained a lot of weight since his pictures.
Oh,
And
okay.
like, do your thing, you know. Like
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
super shallow, but put your pictures that are accurate. So I've not been
Recent ones.
catfished, but I've definitely had the pictures 10 years old that they
Oh,
have on
yeah,
there,
okay.
or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a year ago when they were hitting the gym every day
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. And like that's not, to me, it's just more, oh, so your confidence is shit. Because obviously if you
Yeah,
were
that's
confident,
true, yeah.
you'd put what your current thing
Yeah.
is. Like
Yeah.
I'm not super thrilled with my current shape, but I'm gonna have a full length picture on there because
You need to know.
this is,
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to go on a date and be like, oh, I
Yeah.
wanted this other
Surprises.
body type or something, you know?
Yeah.
So he's gained some weight, but I was like, whatever, it's fine. So then we sit down, and I'm nervous ticking, and I think it's because I was like, my job looks really lame next to this guy, and I just think I was nervous. And he kept saying, stop being anxious and grabbing my hands or grabbing my leg and being like, stop it, I obviously like you. Why are you being so insecure? I'm like, and I wasn't telling him anything. I just was fidgeting.
Yeah.
And he was like, stop fidgeting. I was like, I'm a fidgeter. And he was so dominant about it. I was like, God, you're so demanding and dominant. He's like, yeah, I have a dominant personality. I was like, cool, keep it over there. And then, like, I didn't want anything to eat. And he's like, yes, she does. Yes, she does. Get us a pretzel. And I was like, oh, Jesus, I don't want a soft pretzel from this bar. I just, And I was attracted to him and I was interested in him, but he was just so controlling.
Yeah.
And, like, that can be nice to a point, you know? So then he wanted to go check on his car. He's like, I don't know this neighborhood. Let me go check on my car because we're going to go to dinner. And I was like, you want to check on your car? We can just walk to dinner. Like, it's, Sunnyside, Queens. There's a million restaurants. So he's like, no, let me just check on my car. What he really wanted to do was show me that he had an SUV Porsche. He wanted to show me his nice car.
Okay.
Which is cool. I was impressed. For like a couple of minutes, I was like, man, this is nice. No one ever drives me. It's a city. So, so then I get in the car. We hang out. But he had his phone on. The date just got weird. He got lost. We ended up at some random place. I was trying to use the bathroom at some bar in like Elmhurst or something, and because I said to use the bathroom, we we're like lost and walking around. And then this bouncer outside the bar that could have been a strip club, could have been a pool place.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just had to pee. Like I didn't
Right.
care what it was.
Right.
And this bouncer is like big guy, arms crossed and sleeping against the door. It would have been this great picture had I gotten it. And then this guy is just checking his phone all night, and I was kind of like, I get that you.
The date that was checking his phone?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like I understand. This is our first date, and like I can understand you keeping it and like checking it periodically. Maybe it's a
Yeah.
work thing or something.
Right.
But he just kept it on his side, and I'm phone obsessed. But on that first date, I won't do it.
Yeah.
It's poor taste.
Yeah.
Once you're dating someone, it's like I'm going to get my
Except if
habits
they
back.
go to the bathroom. Got you.
Yes. Maybe. That's funny. Well, that's when I pull out my phone. It's not
Right,
already out
Of
sitting
course,
here.
right.
So
Semantics, I
we
get
end
it.
up going to some kind of corner Mexican restaurant, whatever. Nothing like fancy, but he like takes my shoe off under the table. But there's not really an under the table; it's pretty open.
Okay.
And he's rubbing. I have these like skinny jeans on. He's rubbing my foot for my sandal, and then he's trying to like pull the jeans up, and they're not going anywhere because they're like tight jeans. And he's trying to like. I said, "Why? Do you have a foot thing? Like, why are you rubbing?" Like, we're literally had just sat down, ordered, and he wants to. I don't know this person, and he wants to rub my feet. I'm like, all right, well, that's kind of either it's needy or you're trying to seduce me. If you are, you're not doing a very good job. But whatever. But then he was like, "Oh, my friend thinks something might be wrong with her." I was like, "Oh," and he's like telling me. So who knows if this was a friend or a female friend.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And he's like, I need to do an examination on her. It's her breasts. And he's going into this detail with me about something wrong with her breasts. And I'm thinking, are you serious? Like, I understand. And he's texting her back questions about what she's experiencing with her nipple that might be having a problem. And I'm thinking, we're not in a relationship. Like, we're not at that place, where I really want you to be like, that's weird, right?
Of course it's weird.
So it gets weirder. And then like he's saying, I want to make sure you had a good time. Had a good time. I was like, I mean, this has been one of the weirdest dates I've had in a while, but I had a good time. And he's like, oh, okay, right. So my photo is attached to this story. This horrible. So I was like, well, this is already ruined. I'm just going to invite him up because like, we're not going to build a relationship together. And I didn't, do whatever. I did what I wanted to.
What adults do.
Yeah, I didn't do like fully whatever, but I definitely felt like, I'm never gonna hear from this guy again.
Okay.
Like this is already weird in so many levels, and he was so controlling that I was like, oh, this is done. And I don't think but the phone thing made me crazy because he kept trying to line up another date, and then finally I was like, hey, how about this time? And he didn't respond for like 5 hours, and he wasn't working. And my friend looked at my message, she's like, you're psycho, because I wrote him this whole thing knowing he's someone that always has his phone out.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that you're busy, but you're not at work. You told me you're not at work. I know you're just hanging out. Like, and I just I wrote a kind of a crazy message. But to me, when you know someone's phone obsessed, like girlfriends or boyfriends, right? You know someone always has their phone out. If they're not responding to you, there's a reason. They've decided to, for a good reason or a bad reason, to put it aside. And sometimes that's fair. Do your own thing.
Yeah.
But if you've asked me a question and then I've responded and it's pretty time sensitive, don't wait a day.
Yeah.
Like if I know you're a phone person,
Right.
if I'm asking you like, how's your day? Yeah, wait a few days. Do your own thing.
Yeah.
The phone thing makes me crazy. And I kept looking at him thinking, I can't date someone who's so bossy And like he was like, "Don't go in that bar. You're not gonna be safe." I'm like, "I live in New York City. You don't. I can handle myself."
That's
you
really
know?
that's really strange. Like that whole him grabbing your foot thing. That is so.
But it wasn't. I mean, there's a time and a place, right? Maybe let's say like
not a first date.
even if we hadn't been in an empty restaurant. Oh, and then he snapped at this bar I took him to where we met. Is like my neighborhood bar, and you don't really want to take a date to your neighborhood bar because like those are your people, and you don't really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did it anyway, and he was rude to the bartender, and that's a
not
big
cool.
thing for me.
Yeah.
That he was like, "Oh, I want my, I don't know, cognac or whatever he was drinking at this bar," and he was like, and they said, well, "What's your last name?" He said, "I've already said it 3 times." And I thought, and I remember thinking, strike one. I can kind of handle him being controlling to a point. But that's when I was like, oh, man, if you're rude to anyone who's in the service industry,
Yeah.
that's not a good sign.
Real quick,
You know?
I know you're good on time?
Yeah, I'm good on time.
Okay, because I know you said you had that.
No, yeah. I think, like, first dates, if someone's told me their life story, because I used to always do that, but if someone's told me their life story now, I'm like, man, if that's so in your mind
Yeah.
that you need to get this off your chest, or sometimes people will do that too. Like, let me tell you all my bad stuff, and then you can decide if you want a second date.
Yeah.
And it's more like if
You don't-
that's your
you don't
style.
think that's good?
No,
Putting the cards on the table so there's no surprises. How do you think about
I
it?
don't
I mean, if you have a kid or something, that's something to mention.
Yeah.
If you want to delve into your childhood, your family dynamics, and all of that, it's too much.
Yeah.
Too
It's a
much?
lot.
All right.
And it just shows that someone's needy. And don't get me wrong, I've done it, and I was needy, So, and you're also showing someone your vulnerability, but in a way that I feel like it gives out a vibe of, please help me fix this. Not, I'm cool in myself to not have to tell you everything about myself in this first date. I'll tell you the major markers. I
Yeah.
have kids, or maybe I was divorced, or whatever.
Right.
But like, if you're telling me every bit of your traumatic life, I wouldn't want to hear that. Like date 3,
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
date 1,
Yeah.
it's not that I don't want to hear it. I just think it's a red flag that you feel the need to tell me that much. And I'm saying this because I've been on both sides of it often. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. Got you.
And
I
I've learned.
I have never thought of it as a red flag, being on the receiving end
And
of
men like to fix. Like a man is going to be like, oh, this girl's been through this.
Yeah.
How can I help her
Help her
out?
out,
How
help
can
her
that.
I
I
fix
absolutely
this?
have the superhero syndrome.
So it becomes,
Absolutely.
Does it go to
Freaking-
superhero syndrome?
Yeah.
this becomes a codependent relationship from the gate,
If you tell first off, it's weird, but that's like a turn on to me. Like if you're broken,
It's a turn on for a lot of
if
people.
you're a
You
little
said this
broken,
last time.
I did.
You said
If
this
you're a
last
little
time.
broken, a little crazy and broken, I'm like,
It's like that Marilyn
it's gonna
Monroe
be
thing.
all right.
You're pretty messed up, but you're also kind of hot. This is the best
this is the
pairing.
best. I don't
And,
know,
Like,
man.
I've heard a lot of guy friends say like they
I'm
like
a
the crazy
sucker
girls
for it.
because
I'm a
that
sucker
sexual
for it.
chemistry too. Like, oh, that girl's a little crazy. I'm using that word loosely,
Mm-hmm.
but.
Yeah.
Girl's a little messed up. Physically, it's gonna be great. Like
know,
people think that way, and they're
even-
usually right for men and women.
I was playing The Sims a while ago, right? You know what The Sims?
The
Are you
Sims,
familiar?
yeah.
Okay, you're familiar with The Sims?
They create a
No.
sound and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
familiar.
Okay,
from-
so I was playing with The Sims, right? I know this is wild, right? But like, I had this character who was doing amazing. Okay, like he was an author, like nice house. There was a girl, a Sim, across the street who walked to my house and peed on my front lawn for no reason. I married that girl in The Sims.
Oh.
That was the one I wanted. That was the Sim that I went for.
I am going to give you some guidance.
Okay.
I'm hoping to go to grad school for therapy. Like that's what I'm hoping to do in the next year.
Okay.
That's what my goal is.
Okay.
So as your forced therapist,
Okay. Yes.
I'm going to tell you if you're a man that wants to have children,
Yeah.
you need to not date these girls.
Yeah.
Because even if they
Yeah.
make a great mom, it wouldn't make them a great partner.
No,
and
yeah.
mom.
No, I'm aware of that. See, because
And I'm also speaking from experience. 'Cause I love a broken guy.
Yeah.
I see a broken guy, I'm like, how can I help?
Yeah,
and what
yeah.
will our chemistry be? Amazing. And then I sit here and talk these stories.
see, the thing is, I know that is my weakness, so I have countermeasures for myself. So like, yeah. So even if, again, remember that thing I was telling you about eating socks? Like, it's a thing.
About that one.
Yeah. I don't want a girl who eats socks. Like, that's not a thing for me. But and of course, that was a video game. That's not happening in real life. That's not a thing. But if you're just a little bit, and of course, if there's other red flags, I know when it's like, oh, okay, you're just meeting a criteria that I really like, and I get like cuckoo for Cocoa Pops, and I lose myself for it. But then like reality kicks in, and I have these like these walls that come down and go like, hey, all right, that's enough. You had your fun, but check this out. She didn't wash her hands when she like left the bathroom or something like that. You know what I mean? Like real issues that
like markers.
Yeah.
Markers
So I'll find out. But so I'm not really worried about the choosing of the right person or
Sure.
it's just with me.
The more time you spend, God, I'm so much of a hypocrite, but I'm wise to it.
Go for it.
The more time you spend just entertaining the excitement or interest short term in that, you will not notice the person behind them because we're tunnel visioned on something that's interesting just at that moment, and then you lose out on time you could spend with something awesome. The person's awesome, who's a little crazy, but you don't have to look at the markers. Look for the markers.
The people. Well, that person.
And if you were dating more on Tinder.
Oh no, yeah, the Tinder days are long behind me. Long behind me. No, plenty of fish.
Are the Tinder days long behind
you? I
you?
feel personally attacked.
No,
that's my answer. I feel personally attacked.
Please don't. If you're out there fishing, get it. Shows how you get it. But
I'll tell you what I'm reeling in. It's not exactly.
I mean, my days are over. Like, I don't. I'm good. I'm okay.
There's a guy from high school. So I was a freshman, and I dated 2 or 3 seniors when I was a freshman, and then they graduated, and I'm nothing. I'm like by myself. So, but I felt cool. Obviously, who wouldn't, right? And I wouldn't say I treated them all super well, but I was 14, so it's like 14. If you're 14 and you're dating an 18-year-old, like the 18-year-old kind of has to expect it, but they didn't, and I didn't really make friends. But this one guy, he was friendly with me, and he gave me a ride to school, and he was also a senior when I was a freshman. And we had like the worst date ever a year later after we went to college, and we just recently started talking on Facebook. We haven't talked in probably 10 years plus. Wow. And we were buddies. And he said something that was maybe the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me, but also sad on his point. And can I say this? Might I sound really conceited?
Yeah, go ahead.
So he had said something like, I was like, oh, that date was so bad. He forgot his wallet. He took me to dinner at Golden Corral. We went to see Space Jam. Really aging myself.
Awesome movie.
It was not.
I mean, terribly awesome.
As a 15-year-old that was
okay.
And we were with his millionaire friends, and I'm like, yeah, this is how we stay rich. We go to Golden Corral. I'm like, great. So, and I here I'm paying for everything, including his snacks at the movie. I'm like, all right, this is not the date I thought I was going to have. And then he had said some very nice things to me after, and I didn't appreciate them, and we didn't talk for a few years.
Thanks for the popcorn.
God. No, I bought the popcorn. I bought his popcorn.
Yeah, he's thanking you. That's what I was saying.
He said nicer things than that.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, cool.
I was kind of
Thank you very much.
I wasn't very, very much.
Right.
So we talked about that, and he said, oh, God, that was the worst date ever. I was like, you think so, too? He's like, yeah, I still tell that story. I was like, we should swap stories in person because you remember things that I don't, I'm sure.
Okay,
and I'd love to know your spin on it after all these years. Yeah. So he's like, yeah, that would be great. I was like, and I said, we started about something else. We're, texting this whole conversation. And I was like, yeah, do you remember when your friend said that this is how the rich stay rich is going to Golden Corral? That was one of my lowlights tonight. What's a lowlight you had?
Right.
And I thought he was going to say something funny because he's like a funny, silly guy. And he had said, I was... God, it sounds so... These words coming out make me sound conceited.
Nah.
He was like, I felt so honored that you were there and, strucken by your beauty or something that was very romantic.
Yeah.
And he was like, I was so intimidated by that. And all I could think was that I could give you nothing compared to what all the other men that would want to be with you.
That's high praise.
Could give you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to Instagram, like texting. I was like, cool. Like, what do you say back to that?
Please tell me you didn't say cool.
No, I said that's very, very sweet and also very, very sad.
Very, okay.
You know, and very, and you know, we kind of stopped talking about it, but I was like, man, that's such a nice thing to say.
Yeah.
But I was also thinking, he had said after, what I had said was, you know, all that path you thought someone could offer. I wish I could remember the wording. No one did for like over 20 years. Like no one had anything to offer for like over 20 years. So it wasn't that bad. But it's like trying to make, you know, joke of this experience. But it's, you know, it's tough. It's tough to learn your proclivities. To figure out how you can avoid them to have more healthy friendships and relationships.
Because you got to go through it. You got to go through like the bad, and you're like, oh wait, I don't like this.
And I had a guy that thought that about me, and I like dated a guy who's got out of prison after that. So
okay, well, I just found out something new. Go on.
But to me, it's like, you know, I mean, it's very tricky to like the good guy.
Well,
or good girl, good guy, whatever.
No,
your
I
thing
want a
is.
good girl. No, I want a good girl.
But for me, you know.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'm just saying it's tricky.
Okay, did you date someone out of prison? Is that what you're saying? What? Yeah.
Maybe this is chapter 3.
Okay.
No, yeah, I did.
There's a lot we got to learn as well, right?
I did. I was 16.
Wow.
And
16.
I was a junior in high school.
Okay.
And I got into some partying. It was pretty intense.
All right. Shout out to partying.
And I dated a guy that was on house arrest.
Okay.
And
ankle bracelet.
And he came over. I can only imagine what my mom was thinking when he came into
He
the house.
left the parents?
Oh yeah, date 1.
Wow.
Whoa.
And date 1, he told me he loved me. Yeah, this
You
is
fell for
It's
that?
totally real.
I totally did.
It's totally real.
And he was a bad guy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd just gotten out of a short-term prison sitch. Was on house arrest.
Sitch.
was on probation.
Right.
And
What do you go to jail for? If you
Murder, of course.
say that.
I think a bunch of B&Es. Oh, I'm sorry for the people listening, breaking and entering.
And murder.
And murder. No, I mean he was a bad guy. He still is a bad guy.
Oh.
I mean he's a millionaire that's gone on to have weddings and marriages and kids. But you know, these are lessons learned, right? Like it's like it was an exciting but weirdly unhealthy time. And yeah, I dated this guy, and I dropped out of high school with like a really good GPA, and then I had to go back and do my junior and senior year at the same time.
Are you saying, is that because of him? Or
The whole
okay.
phase.
Okay.
Yeah, to be general, that whole phase, but mostly because of him. Yeah. So you know,
You know, see, and this is why.
people don't always assume these stories about people when you meet
Well,
them
no,
as an
well,
adult,
yeah.
right? Because you're like, wait, you did what?
But
Yeah.
this is what I'm saying.
This is your dating history.
all of these things, like they shape you, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Like they shape you. Now, I want to believe that, you know, like I said, that it's for the better. But you've then admitted that you've been in this cycle, sort of a thing.
Not that particular.
Well,
cycle,
of course.
thankfully.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, people, like curiosity can be
Yeah.
a really healthy thing. But I think if you're someone that likes to live like curiously, like to travel, obviously I've moved a lot. Like, you know, like you like to really live life in a full way.
Right.
Often that curiosity, if you don't check yourself, if you don't have your own markers,
Right.
can lead you down relationship paths or life paths that you look back and go, that was very interesting. It was very exciting, but it didn't really build for something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that is what I've learned.
Wow.
But, and it's not always sad. I've also had some really cool, great experiences.
We've
I've
heard-
had a lot of like great ones.
We've heard none of them.
When I was 24, I was in Spain watching the Rolling Stones in Bilbao, Spain. This big soccer stadium. And I was tipsy, and I physically threw my body on a man to start a conversation.
Okay.
Oh, I just bumped into you, whatever. And then we started chatting, and he asked me to go back to his house, which was 70 kilometers away. I did not go, but we did stay in contact.
Okay.
and my good friend translated for us.
Yeah.
So 2 months later, I went to stay with him. And he showed me around his neighborhood.
Oh.
And I would not sleep with them. And he told me I was uptight. And he told me I was
Whoa.
chubby. And he was like, "Oh, you're so American." I'm like, "Sorry," you know.
Yeah.
But he was so proud of that environment and like where he had grown up in the Pyrenees, and you know. So there are some. I mean, like, there's a lining of it that's not glamorous, but
Yeah,
you know,
I was waiting for that part.
And he drove me back to France, and he was like, "Oh, you know, I usually have some like cocaine and amphetamine every day, but I don't have any today." I'm like, "Cool, like, thanks for not driving me over a border, put drugs in the car." So yeah, that kind of curiosity has been very enriching to my life, and I have these crazy stories, but I also hopefully will make an amazing therapist because I can like
I think
I can not judge
your
for
empathy
people.
level must be like super high. Like
Yeah,
you must be
Yeah, I think that's
really like understanding, and I can already tell that you're a really good listener. I can tell that. But that's one thing, you know, your relationships from the past has given to you. You know, I think.
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
That's a good get.
I mean, hopefully it gives all of us that, right? Like, I'm not unique. I know a lot of people have a lot of intense stories. There might be a couple, they might be 100. I don't know. You know, people have things that they've been through, and I think that as you grow, it should be making you better as a partner, as a friend, as, you know, family member. I mean, everything. Like, if you're not learning from that stuff, or even your friends going through that stuff, whatever that stuff is, you know, whatever is unique, you're doing it wrong. You know,
Nesta, do you think you've grown from, you know, your past dating experiences and things of that nature? Do you think that you are better because of it?
Yeah. She brought up something earlier where when you get a little older, you look for, you know, you don't think
The pyramid
same anymore.
thing?
yeah. You want
I like
more
that, yeah.
from
You
it.
want more. Like back then, it was about looks and all this other
Sure.
stuff, but now it's like a little bit different now. From before, you know, the music stuff I was doing, I was out there traveling, doing my thing, wilding out. But now,
Not wanting rejection from women.
Call back.
yeah. But now my mindset has changed. People say, "Oh, you're getting old." Maybe I think I'm getting a little wiser. I'm in that mood of settling down now, having a family.
But
you know.
doesn't that feel dope?
It does. It does. So I mean, I used to think, no, I don't want to think like that. I never wanted to get there because I always feared about getting old, and I thought settling down.
Stuck and like
yeah,
feeling
stuck
yeah.
and you know, just boring life. But it's not boring. I feel that, you know, it's exciting. It's an exciting
so
point in my
exciting,
life. And I'm excited to, you know, start a family, have a child, and all that good stuff. You know, from before I didn't want any kids. Back then,
Yeah.
you can never get me to have.
I
any
never
kids.
wanted a child
I was
until
like,
I was
kids?
like
What's that?
25. I picked up my friend's kid and I was like, must have one of these eventually. But I like hearing both of you guys talk about how you want a family. And
Yeah.
if you didn't want a family, there'd be nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But it's
Yeah.
nice to hear people that are men
Yeah.
be open about it, because we hear it from women, you know, and we hear it from men, like, you know, one-on-one or like whatever, but
Right.
people don't usually say it openly.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's great. I mean, I think that as you age, different things should be interesting to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
You know, like I think of things I did in my early 20s that sound horribly boring to me, or even things I did in my early 30s that were like social or different kinds of relationship. I'm like, God, that would be so exhausting. You know, it's like new things are interesting. Maybe
Right.
new hobbies. Maybe staying at home on a Friday night. I never would have
We were
done.
just talking about that.
I never
like,
would have done
just-
that. And
yeah.
now it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm so
love it.
tired. I love it.
Yeah, we were
Love
talking
it.
about that. Yeah,
Just talking
We were
about
talking
that. Like
that.
how, like, at least one of my days off, I just want to be on the couch and just
Totally.
binge something
yeah.
or play some vids,
Just relax,
whatever.
yeah.
Whatever.
Sims. You want to work with the Sims into your life?
You know, they need saving. Some of
Get
them,
married again.
maybe.
Yeah.
But I know my 20, like back in the, I was trash.
Yeah.
Growing up, I was trash.
You can't catch you in the house.
Oh no, I was just trash. Like
different?
no, I was always.
Your
on
mindset was a
punishment.
little bit different.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was just terrible. Like now, I love who I am now.
Yeah.
I love life now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's great. Like, think
Yeah.
of how much more you're bringing to other people's lives with that. Whether it's someone you interact with at work or whether it's someone you're dating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That when you God, I'm getting so serious now.
No, get
if you can
serious.
like sit within yourself and go, I like myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Versus maybe when you're younger, you don't yet, and we're
Yeah.
seeking external stuff,
Yeah.
attention.
Mm-hmm.
God, I can't tell you how many things I did for attention. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I think that's a thing for women a lot, young women in general.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like just seeking attention or validation or going out because you can't handle a quiet moment to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It either feels boring or you feel angsty by
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like it's sweet to go, I love hanging out with myself.
Yeah, I used to think going to the movie theaters by yourself was. Why would you ever do that?
Yeah.
I love cinematic adventures
By yourself, yeah.
like Dolly. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I if I can go, well, see, so it's like my couch is so comfortable. Like sometimes I just don't want to
You
leave
moved
that
there,
couch.
right.
But like, yeah, I go and see. I haven't gotten to. I know I can do this. Like, go to dinner with myself. I know I can do that, but I just haven't gotten to
Oh,
that.
I've got so many tips.
Oh,
Sit at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. People will go by themselves to the bar. I like going during the week. Just eat dinner by myself
Mm-hmm.
more than Friday and Saturday. Those are date nights, right? So like you see people in the city, and it's like a million couples. and
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
This is
Mhm.
me having fun. I mean, I've actually had dinner by myself in restaurants and been asked
Yeah.
to move because they need a
Oh,
table.
shoot.
Yeah.
Or they need the bar. People that have come in, like,
Yeah.
can you move down a few stools? I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
like in the corner
Actually,
where
can
they
you just-
clean the dishes.
Can you just take this drink and go to the bathroom? Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
thanks.
right.
No.
But I think like during the week is great because
Yeah.
it's not
It's crowded.
it's
Yeah.
not as crowded. I like going out to lunch by myself.
Oh,
more than
yeah,
dinner.
yeah.
Lunch is
Lunch is
pretty, or
nice, yeah.
brunch is pretty
Yeah,
like
brunch,
neutral
Right.
meals. But I enjoy it. I mean, I don't always want to do it, right? It
Yeah,
gets
you don't always
lame,
want to
but
do it, right?
it's nice.
I mean, it's certain thing. Like, I don't want to go to Great Adventures by myself. I want to do that. But
Mhm.
like, like lunch, brunch, as you said,
Yeah.
the movies. Come on,
Yeah.
come on. Do you do that?
Yeah, is there anything you like to do
Um,
by yourself that's like your own?
Yeah, I've done that
thing?
by myself. Yeah. Yeah.
What do you like to do? All right, so like when it's just you, like what's your thing? What makes Nesta like when you're just by yourself? Like, what do you do?
What you do? Just to take time to relax. And
Okay.
Just,
Like on the couch.
couch.
or-
Yeah. At home, just like binge watch.
You said you used to do music. Like, do you still play?
Yeah, or
anything,
DJing
or-
and stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm doing my little DJ work on the
Nice,
side.
Yeah.
nice.
So I'm still doing it now, but only like private events, like weddings and those kind
Don't
of
say
things.
That's awesome.
don't say little DJ. You
I
lit.
know,
Come
I know,
on, like-
but I'm not in the clubs every week. Like it got tiring, like being there every week, and traveling all over the world and stuff like
Yeah,
that. I'm
yeah.
not doing that as much as I used to. So I get to spend more time
You
with
know,
myself. So
all these stories I've shared about my crazy dates, and I have more. Should we do this again?
yeah,
If you've been doing you did all that travel, you've got some stories.
of course.
we all have stories.
We all have
You
stories.
probably have a fair amount to share.
I believe that. Nesta,
You
would-
add in,
Yeah.
this is just basic science. You add in music,
Mm-hmm.
particularly like upbeat dancing music. I don't
Yeah.
care if it's like 80s music or if it's house music, whatever. You do music in a social setting with alcohol.
Yeah.
I couldn't even say, I have not
No,
been
I-
drinking
I like-
alcohol.
I know where
alcohol.
you're going
Yeah.
here.
And there are stories,
There has to be.
and people get loose.
I want to get loose.
That's what the girl
You're
said.
so loose. Do you?
They do.
Yeah, I've
And
had
particularly at certain
plenty stories.
age groups more than others.
Oh yeah.
You know, if I would,
definitely.
I just turned 38. I am 38.
Shout out
I
to
don't,
you.
Shout
Yeah.
out to me. My depressing age. And no, it was actually a really nice birthday week.
Nice.
But
Oh,
and it was
wow.
very mature. Like we went out with friends. We had a dinner. We had one drink. We're all home by 12:30. I went out another night with a friend. Whatever. I went out and saw like a show. Whatever. It was like different things, but they weren't.
Nice.
This is not me 10 years ago. Like, well, I might black out, but it's fine. But you have that, and like I don't go out now and think I want to get wasted and listen to music. But I did go to my friend's wedding a year ago, and I felt really uncomfortable because I'm not really friends with these girls anymore, and I drank a lot more than I normally would. And they're the guys are musicians; they were doing curated good music, and
Yeah.
I'm like. I kind of wanted to piss them off, and I was drunk. I was like, "Play Magic Stick, play Magic Stick," and they were like, "God, this girl." Yeah. So I mean, it happens, but I think
That's hilarious.
I love to tell DJs to play Magic Stick. It's one of my favorite things.
Oh, wow.
Because DJs hate it. They don't want to play.
Is that true? Yeah, I
The 50
hate
Cent?
Magic
Yeah.
Stick.
Yeah.
Like most DJs don't want to play old pop
Old stuff,
songs.
yeah.
Or if you like old stuff, like let's say you're like a curator
Yeah.
of cool old stuff, you want to play what you think is good music,
Yeah.
not necessarily, not that Little Come and 50 Cent is not good music, but people that I know that are musicians don't equate that as something they're impressed
Right,
with,
right,
you
right,
know
right.
what I mean? But
Play Magic Stick.
I love doing Magic
Pretty
Stick.
funny.
And
Forgot about that song.
no, it's on my phone.
Yeah.
But it's kind of one of those things where I think that at 22, if there's a musician, there's a DJ, they look extra hot because you're 22.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Definitely.
Nesta has stories.
Yeah,
Stories.
I mean, I have stories, but I mean, I could just touch on a little bit how it is.
Okay.
I really want to hear these, but I gotta go. My
Okay.
friend is
Okay.
here.
All right.
Aw.
We'll save it for next time.
Yeah,
This
I
was
really like
amazing.
chatting with you guys.
This is
All right,
amazing.
we'll set up another session.
This is
Keep in contact
fantastic.
with you.
I really, I feel like I got to know both of you a little better.
Nesta, I feel like,
better.
I need more from you. I need to hear more of this, the meat of this background.
The meat, okay.
Yeah.
And it might be you're the host. You
Yeah.
might like not want that might not be your direction.
Yeah.
You might like have people to like tell their stories,
Mm-hmm.
but Raj and I, we bonded here.
Yeah?
We've gotten a little
We
idea
did.
of what we're looking for and what we definitely are not.
So
looking
next time I've got to open up more.
Yeah.
All right.
So I just want to say, it's funny. I worked at a restaurant a long time ago.
Right.
I worked in restaurants forever. I was a chef.
Oh, nice.
I was a personal chef, but I worked in like restaurants and catering for 20 years. So I have a lot of stories from that.
You have skills in the
But
kitchen.
I do. I went to culinary school.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah, and I was a pastry cook before that, like in my mid-20s for a couple of summers.
I am an amateur chef who thinks he knows how to do things, but he does pretty well.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm the laziest chef you'll meet. Where it's like, what should we have for dinner? Leftovers. It's like, do you want to make some really cool things cut up? I'm like, nope, I don't want to do that.
Nice.
But anyway, I worked in this restaurant. I was waitressing, and this guy came in, and he came in occasionally, and he was a young man, and he would, I think it was bourbon and milk that he would order. It was either
Okay.
bourbon and milk or whiskey and milk. And I remember thinking, you're day drinking bourbon and milk? Like, you're not day drinking a beer
Yeah.
or a shot or whatever. You're mixing hard liquor with milk in the hot sun of
That's
the
so
beach
strange.
of North Carolina.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, God, is this guy gonna puke? Like, this is horrible. Because it was a really nice cafe, you know. And I'll never forget that there are people in the world that drink bourbon and milk. I don't know if it was like, oh, I might get reflux. Let me add some milk to that bourbon
Yeah.
in case it makes my stomach
There
hurt.
are people who drink bourbon and milk and eat fish tacos on trains.
Ooh.
They're weird people. That's basically
I would totally eat food. I would
On a train?
order-
On a train.
on the subway system.
I mean, if
Was
we
it
were-
crowded? It doesn't matter.
Not,
I'm trying to say if it's crowded,
there was
right.
it was a normal
The
amount.
aroma.
It wasn't like
If we were like rushing because we had to get to that movie, I would totally eat in a train. It's not my preference.
okay, no,
But I
that's that's different. Well, see, all right. I
Because
mean,
like, we gotta go.
It's
We
all
got
right,
like
yeah.
somewhere to be, but
Yeah.
I gotta eat.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna not eat because we're in a rush.
okay, I mean, I ain't gonna get into it. I'm not doing it. That is behind me. Okay, I am a better person now. Okay, don't want to walk that down that road anymore. Thank you very much.
So there's one other story I wanted to.
Go
There
ahead.
was, God, it's funny just about the catfishing thing. I keep thinking about this one guy that I met who was Indian.
Uh-oh.
And
Wait, why did you say?
what is that?
Why did you say? Oh,
and his picture was either of another Indian man
Yeah.
or him 15 years before.
oh, okay.
I don't know why I feel the need to tell you this as I'm leaving because it's like I gotta get the story in. And so he asked me to meet him at the Marriott Marquis Hotel,
Uh-huh.
and he was like, "Oh, I'm here for business," and we did. But I learned later if someone asked you to meet them at a hotel for a date, like, know that you shouldn't go.
Yeah, I would think so.
Or, yeah. So we go, and he obviously doesn't look a thing like what
wow.
his thing. I mean, he was probably 20 years later, and we have
This sounds
this,
so dangerous.
so that at the time the U.S. Olympic male swimming team had the celebration party, and
Okay.
at the same bar, like further back,
Okay.
and Michael Phelps was there.
Okay.
Who I've never seen, and I always thought he looked weird, like he had taken too much human growth hormone as a human.
A little bit.
And then I saw him in person in a suit, and I'm like, he's hot.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And I'm with this man who is much older than me and does not look like his photo. And then Michael Phelps is like walking in the background with this like model blonde. I'm like, Michael Phelps. I'm so interested. So he's like, oh, let's go to dinner. Like he's like annoyed that I'm not paying attention to him. So we go to this horrible dinner, and then he proceeds to tell me about the strip clubs he likes and how Toledo is better because they can go bottomless there.
Wow, he's a classy dude.
And he was a high businessman.
Yeah.
This is not. I knew the company he worked with. I knew his position. I knew like what he was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is someone who has had a matured career. You know, this is not. You know, whatever, coming from the bar drunk. And he's just talking to me, and I'm like, is he trying to entice me? Because it is not working. Like, this is not what really rings my bell, you know? And, but I just, like, kept remembering, why would, it just boggles my mind. Like, you don't look like yourself, and then you're going to try and titillate.
He still has the audacity to come on like that.
Yeah.
While Michael Phelps
is across the
swimming
street.
in your
Yeah.
mind. I get it.
I'm
Yeah,
not
see
even.
what I did there?
Yeah,
swimming
in your mind.
That was good. I needed you to put that out. Like this, the what do they call the cheap seats? I
Yeah.
need you to like
Yeah.
really do that for me. But yeah, it's God, I have a million of these stories.
I would sit down and listen to all of them.
I need to have the But you know what's funny is when you tell things in retrospect, they often sound sad or depressing or negative. But at the time, they're not necessarily. They're just more like, well, this is not a night that I want to.
I mean, is that how you feel? Like as you're telling these stories?
No, but
Because I feel I'm having
No.
a great time.
Okay, no, but it's like you also don't want to play the the Sex and the City game where you like label everyone as you know what I'm saying, or like Seinfeld,
yeah,
where everybody
I get it.
gets like man hands, or everyone gets a name because you're making fun of them.
Poor's nose guy?
I'd rather make fun of the situation
Okay.
Okay.
because they were fucking absurd.
Yeah.
over and over and over again.
Milk Girl and Poor's nose guy. Yeah, these are, they're labeling themselves, and you're not doing it. I only told them to do that. See, I'm still not over this. Yeah, I gotta.
How long ago was this?
That was a long time ago, but it's just it's like burned in there because
Tender
like
days, like, so
yeah,
that's how
just
long
like-
it goes.
Yeah, right. So, but it's just like burned in. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, I think also, even if you're not rejected, it still stays in a similar rejection place.
Okay,
Right?
yeah.
Because it's kind of like,
Yeah, I get
last
that.
time I was here, I talked about a guy I went out with who was also doing a surgical residency, who I met at like a really fancy bar where it was really, really expensive. And Paul McCartney was in the corner and stuff, on the Upper East Side. And I was not dressed fancy. So when he asked me, I was like, you're not going to expect me to dress fancy. And he wasn't my type. And then when we went out, I saw him on the street, and we were like going to the bar. I told this whole story last time. But
You say he think I think you should change. He says, yeah.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah,
That's a great memory. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, we go to these bars. He complains about the drink. He tells me I'm gonna get fat if I have pizza after 9. I'm
that's nice.
starving. Like the whole night was like a disaster. And then he leaves. Like when I'm in the bathroom, I come back and he's like, "Oh yeah, my friend's trying to impress this girl. Like I gotta go. And I just to this day I think, how dare you leave a date with me? And that's such a conceited thing to think, because like people should do whatever
No,
they want
the
to do.
F is not. No, it's not.
So to me, it's not rejection because I cared about that person.
Yeah.
But it was more like
audacity.
all night, these little things he did that were just rude or condescending to others. And that sticks with me. Because like, why was I even out with you?
Yeah. Because you know your value. It's very clear. If you know your value, you're not gonna stand for like that. All that. What? I should have changed. You changed your attitude,
I should have just
mister.
gone upstairs and how to call it. But it's not even that. But it's
What?
like those little things. And I think sometimes when people are acting weird around you, or they're being quirky, or they're saying off, like random comments,
Yeah.
it feels insulting. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're like, I know I deserve better than this. Like, it's not
Yeah.
even that you've offended me. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. But you know that you deserve better, and therefore you're like, this is going to stick with me because I deserve something better than this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And because I'm bringing more to this.
Ooh.
It's not just that I deserve better. I'm bringing more to the table.
Talk to him.
Yeah.
Like
There you go. Get in your bag.
you guys on speed dial. Like, well, I just need some reinforcement here. Yeah, I mean, it's. I think it's interesting. I'm grateful for all of my life experiences.
Yeah, me too. Except the
I
milk
mean,
one. But, yeah.
Except for the milk date.
Yeah.
But you're
I'm
grateful
that.
for it.
But I
Yeah,
think
it's
our
fine.
experiences help us to who we
Yeah,
are
yeah,
today.
yeah.
You know,
I'm
put us in the
joking, of
position
course,
we are
but-
today. So
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, totally. I think it's also just, it's so funny how dating can be so fun.
yeah.
And it can also, when you think later on dates from years past, think about, wow, like that was.
I'll say something right now. Dating is not fun anymore. It is not fun. Like,
Well, if it works out, if it
Well,
turns to something.
yeah, but
The
people
the whole starting all over
you know,
thing
and,
kind of thing.
and it's
or-
so funny because I'm better now.
Yeah.
Like at handling situations and stuff. But I don't want to be out there like that.
Because you want to have a kid and
Yeah,
there
be
we go.
having your
So
kids
your
do
mindset
that.
changes, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
You know, like me too. And I'm telling you, all these guys I meet with kids, like my ovaries are like, he's the one. You know, he's a
Yeah.
good father. or
do you
he
feel
can
that your
produce
window
one.
is closing? The biological clock is ticking, as they say for women.
Yeah,
Yeah?
I do. And I have like, I have a condition that might make it impossible for me to have kids.
Oh wow.
Oh.
So I'm not feeling that pressure because it's like, well, what if I try and I can't? And I've waited so long, it's even harder. And it's not going to happen.
So you're just gonna force it to just be anybody? Hopefully not.
It's more important to me to have a child than get married.
Wow.
Wow.
Like that's
And
how much.
normally women see the other way. They want to, of course,
No,
marry, then the kids.
that's actually not true.
Really?
Yeah.
Most women we talk to, they're like, oh, I want
I've
to get
had
married
an
first.
experience where
I mean, I
someone
want
has
to get
told-
married.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
but
yeah.
You want to have the
And
kid.
I'd like to have a child with someone who's a good partner and who's
Right.
going to be a good dad and stick around. And
Yeah,
that's
of course.
consistent for
Of
the
course,
kid, whether we
right.
stay together or not. You know, things happen. But
Yeah.
my hypothetical husband, then we might get a hypothetical divorce. But it's for hypothetical children.
It's more of a time than for the kid. For the marriage, you could always.
Yeah, like I could
Yeah.
I could meet the man of my dreams at 50.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have a child at 52.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know? So it's kind of like if I can have a child, if I need to adopt, I will. If I need to foster, I'd consider it for
Yeah.
sure. But to me, like I'd like to have a biological child.
Right,
Exactly,
right,
right.
You know?
That makes sense.
My,
yeah.
Makes
my
sense.
oldest friend just had a kid last week, and I was so happy for her.
How old is
This
she now, if you don't mind?
She's 38.
Oh,
This is her
wow,
second
same age.
child.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
We
Okay.
grew up together, and I was so happy for her. And this baby was so cute, and she had a hard first labor, so I was like super happy.
Oh,
She had a good
yeah.
second labor, you know.
That's dope.
And I was so happy for her. I wasn't jealous in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But the same day, I found myself down.
Down,
And I was like,
yeah.
oh, I'm down because it's not taking away from her. She
Yeah,
should
yeah,
have
yeah.
all this, you know. But it's
Just
more like,
making
damn,
you
that
think like,
window,
damn.
that window, you know.
Yeah.
Like that's when I started thinking about that biological clock because I didn't think about it all in my 20s. I was like, oh, it'll happen. I'm not
Yeah,
worried about it.
exactly.
In the first half of my 30s, I'm like, well, it would happen if I stopped dating these weirdos. So I'll just stop doing that, you know. And then, you know, you're in a long-term relationship, it doesn't work out, and then you're like, okay, well, I'm glad it didn't work out. It wasn't meant
Yeah.
to work out.
Yeah.
But then you're like, that was a lot of time I spent
Yeah,
on
so
one
by the
person.
time you spend on one person, yeah,
that
you got to start back over
didn't give
again.
me a
Yeah.
child,
Yeah.
you know?
Exactly. So
I know it's crazy how biological that could be. And
Yeah.
the guys that I dated in this last year that had these kids, I would say, how does it feel? Because I was the first girlfriend after the wives.
Right.
yeah,
Great idea. Let me just like line up for that again. But I was like, how does it feel? And they both would be like, there's a biological thing that makes me more attracted to you because I see how good you are with my daughter.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like, yeah, it's crazy, right? These biological things we don't really think about.
Right.
yeah.
And yet they're there. You know what I mean? Or even like men being attracted to certain female like body types.
Yeah.
Often those types like they'll say like wide hips are good for childbirth. And, like
Yeah.
you know that might come with like wide hips or like a big butt, but like this is a type that could it's
Thick
a
thighs save
there's so much
lives. I get it.
biology into this stuff. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah.
But
All right.
how should we close this for my time with you guys?
Hands in a circle and go face to face. I don't know. No idea.
Want to close it out?
Yeah. Man, like
Thanks for having me again.
this is fantastic.
Yeah.
You are so like interesting. You're very interesting.
But yet I don't always speak close enough to the mic. That's my downfall.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think this one
Yeah.
should come out better than the last time.
I hope so. I've been trying to be more mindful.
I like the
of
fact
it.
that we had more time and
More
we just
time.
focused more so on the conversation because that was really good.
That was really good. You're right. You had a
I'm
good
telling
idea.
you,
It
yeah.
was his idea to not have more. Last time was just more questions that I had. It's more
But
like
the questions
conversation.
were good. They like
No,
they
yeah,
were-
we're
they
not
were
saying that the
great.
questions
Yeah.
were bad,
Yeah.
but I'm saying like from my
You
experience,
want to be more natural.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
more when it happens more organically,
Organic, yes.
and more things come out.
Sure.
You learn more.
Sure.
You hit deeper places than you would if you just like, had these.
Especially with questions, you usually have like a certain amount of time in which
Yeah.
you would try and move to the next
Yeah,
question.
exactly, right.
So people don't.
So you
really
can't branch.
get
You can't
there.
do- yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
It's
But-
just better. It just felt better.
I mean, I could talk about moving some more if you guys. And how much I've sweat today moving things, and the fact that I still didn't get everything into storage.
must be
in
exhausted.
time. I started a new job yesterday, and they gave me
Wow,
off
congratulations.
today. Thanks. And I'm going back tomorrow, and I'm living out of a storage unit, so it's not
I
like
understand.
it's so crazy. And we still didn't get it in time, and the storage unit closes early, so I have things in my apartment that need to leave, but I'll be at work tomorrow, so that's.
It's going to be an interesting day.
Yeah, my friend said he would help me.
You think he's going to?
this the one that's here?
Yeah, outside waiting for
like
me.
the last hour.
What does she do? What?
He had said, he was like, so,
Tinder?
you guys talk about... No, this was the one my friend... For once,
Sorry.
no, for once. No, this
Nice.
is the one that our mutual friend introduced to us, and he was like, oh, so I'm going through a divorce, and I have a 5-year-old. Like, nope, I'm done with that path. But he's a really nice guy, and he's just very much like a fixer.
Yeah.
He's
Like
a
a
fixer.
man's man.
Yeah, but I got in the truck today, and he had on country music. I was like, I know we're very different, but I can't listen to that. My ears are bleeding. He's like, you're from the South. I'm like, not that kind of South.
Did you request Magic Stick?
Not magic. It has to be with like a shrill
Oh,
drunken
sure.
voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have
Gotcha.
magic stick? It can't be like a.
It has to be obnoxious.
calm,
Yeah,
okay.
mature
I got you.
question. Yeah, it's nice, but he's been very patient.
All right. Well,
Because moving with
let's,
people,
Yeah.
that's some stuff. It does not bring out the best in human beings to carry boxes
Look,
and bags and help
Yeah.
them pack.
I bet. I would never.
Guys are gonna like have your entire lives and wherever you're living, like the next 10 years.
Yeah, I mean,
these milestones we passed, and they'll all be in the same room, like maybe a
I
different
tell you,
paint color or something.
honestly, if moving is in my future, it's definitely because of a woman. Absolutely.
I say the same thing as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's because she don't want to be there. I'm looking at you. And she trying to, we can't
be here.
Next
The
thing I
kids
know,
outta
I'm
here.
in the freaking woods and there's bears and I'm like,
And there's an open ceiling, so it's
know.
no rain can get out of it.
It's like
And
rain.
there's milk that's not refrigerated,
Yeah.
just like scattered in different
I
glasses.
mean, what's for dinner tonight? Oh, fish tacos. Oh, great, wonderful. No.
That's the least weird part of that story is the
No,
fish
it's not.
tacos.
No, it's not.
But if I'm on a date with a
Empanadas.
guy and they get like onion on the salad,
Yeah, you don't do that.
but
You don't
fish
get onion
taco,
stuff.
Fish doesn't make my breath funky. Onion
But it
does.
has a smell though.
Onion
even
and
if
garlic
it's good.
too.
Yeah,
But I feel
onion
like-
and garlic. That's wild.
Supposed to have gum. Still no? That's a no-no?
No, because gum. Okay, first off, people are getting the wrong gum.
I know.
Okay, you have to get this. There's certain gums. There's gums that mask the the scent, and there's gums that eliminate the scent. Okay, those are two different things, and a lot of people are getting the cover up.
And some females walk with like a little toothbrush or something.
Well,
with them
good
as
for that. Well, shout out to them.
A little.
Yeah.
I used when I was
Like a tongue scraper sort of
yeah,
a thing.
get like a little wisp.
Yeah.
Okay,
you know?
all right.
Those
Well,
days,
see-
the days are behind me. I don't care.
well, all right. Well,
I have more confidence now.
Or the strip Listerines.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I doubt she had Listerine strips.
I think I would rather kiss someone that had just had a fish taco than just drank milk
That's true.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
just drank a Red Bull.
Red Bull.
Oh yeah.
That's some
yeah.
funk mouth
That can get
going
a
on.
rough. Yeah,
Red Bull?
that can get a little
Yeah,
rough.
I've dated guys that were sober, and we go to the bars and they drink Red Bull,
Red
and I'm
Bull.
like, I can't even have you breathe on me. I'm
Yeah.
so repulsed by that scent.
How do you feel about guys who smoke?
Ooh, good
Turn
question.
off.
Ooh, God, I smoked until like 10 years ago,
Oh.
and I hate it.
Yeah.
So this guy that I keep referencing, this recent guy,
The guy that's waiting out there.
no, no.
What?
less recent than that.
Yeah, wow.
So the guy was like, "So what are you going to talk about during this podcast?" I'm like, I don't know. So no, the guy that was my actual boyfriend that had the
Right.
kid and
Gotcha.
the ex, and the ex is like famous, and that's great. I like opened a magazine recently, opened it
He's
up,
like-
and his ex-wife was in there. I'm like,
Oh, okay.
sweet,
All right.
thanks. But we're on our first date. It's going really, really well. chatting each other up to like 2 a.m. Like we had so much in common, like so much to say to one another. We're like 3/4 of the way down. He's like, so your profile said no smoking. How firm are you on that? I was like, enough where I wrote it on my profile.
Oh, yeah.
So
Right, I know.
like wrote it. Like it wasn't like a box to check. Like I wrote it, no smokers. And he's like, maybe I'll have to quit. I'm like, oh my God.
wow.
I was like, you smoke? He's like, yeah. I was like, this is fraud. This is fraud. This was going so well. And you presented yourself as someone you're not.
There it is.
Red flag I should have listened to. And then, he would try not to smoke, but it was an argument. Like I hadn't dated a smoker since high school, even when I was a smoker. And I mean, like someone that smokes pot, I don't smoke pot, but if someone did, I'm a little more chill about that. But for all of my 20s, I wasn't.
Okay.
So it's like, but to me, and then there's the vaping.
Oh yeah, the
And
vapor.
I'm like, first of all, it's gross. Second of all, it's horrible for your lungs. Like they're coming out with studies that it's way worse. than
I read that too.
Oh, really?
I did read that vaping is not, because a lot of people.
it causes popcorn lung. Like it's like an actual, like doctors are like.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Is it a
Don't.
way to ease off the smoking for people who are smokers?
But it makes them smoke more because with a cigarette,
Yeah.
you time out. You start,
Yeah.
you finish.
Yeah.
With any kind of e-cig or anything, you don't. You could smoke for 20 minutes. Like it's
Yeah.
not like your brain saying, "Oh, the cigarette's done. I need to put it out."
Got
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
And people smoke inside. Usually, if you have to go
Yep.
outside, you smoke less.
Yeah.
that's
I've
true.
had so many strong thoughts on this, but it's to me, smoking is a no.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a no. I've tried to do it, and then I've been pissed off all the time. Because it's like you don't want to say I won't kiss you because you just smoked, but someone knows that going in, then you feel like you're being controlling, like don't smoke or brush your teeth, and like this is not fun for either people. And
Yeah.
I've been in that enough where I don't want to do it
And
again.
then it gets all on your clothes. And
It
Yeah,
does.
your clothes, your
And
hair
your
smell.
teeth,
Oh,
and
when
your
when you're with the
fingers.
person,
So
you start
bad.
smelling like smoke and stuff. Yeah, that's why I say nah.
Totally, and,
Especially
like-
women who smoke. That's a turn off. That's one of the turn offs for me. I'm sorry. Yeah, definitely.
You don't smoke. You
No.
No, I don't smoke as well. No,
Yeah.
no.
And I used to. It's like I
yeah.
understand, but we know more now. It's been a long
Yeah.
time.
Right.
People don't smoke inside anymore. Like there's like so much that's changed that when I was younger, I'd smoke in a bar. You can't smoke in a bar
Yeah,
now.
you
It's like
can't
I
do-
don't
you
want to walk
definitely can't do
outside
that.
to smoke. But if I'm even outside and someone's smoking next to me, I'm like, why is this happening? If I go in the subway and someone's smoking, they usually look crazy, so I don't say anything to them.
Yo,
The people that smoke in
that is
subways
a
are
fact.
crazy.
Yes.
They never look like,
Yeah.
oh, I look like a normal person just vacationing in New
Yo,
York.
I could have sworn somebody was definitely smoking K2 in one of the train stations I was at. I'm like, you can die from that, dude, and you're just casually lighting up right there. It's
I
crazy.
think if you're smoking anything in a subway,
I mean, yeah,
you have
definitely.
larger issues
Yeah.
to take on than the fact that you're a smoker.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I've seen people, I saw people like holding crack
Oh my goodness.
pipes and stuff,
She has
and
a
I'm
lot
like,
of stories.
I'm not going to say anything to you. You can do whatever you want over there. Like, I'm not going to have a conversation with you about not smoking in the subway. If this is something you're openly, I mean, I didn't see someone smoke, but I saw it like in their hand, or they're
Yeah.
probably going to in the immediate future. It's like, yeah, I can't be bossy with you.
This is why I stay indoors, because I don't have to deal with people. You know, as much as I can deal with people,
Yeah.
I just rather just
Let me wrap this up right now.
I know,
sorry.
my
I'm
lovely
sorry.
friend.
All right, let's wrap
I
this up.
keep wanting to talk because I like talking to you guys. And
Yeah.
then I'm being inconsiderate.
So we'll definitely have you back again,
Great.
of course.
Fantastic.
All right, guys. So this wraps up another episode of Face to Face. Yours truly, Nesta Can. Take care and God bless.
Good night.
Good night.
Good day.